Can Adelaide repeat their round one win when they meet Hawthorn live from Waverley?
A very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to VFL Park here in Melbourne. We commence round 16, and it's the match between Hawthorn and the Adelaide Crows. Well, Hawthorn and Hawthorn fans have been waiting for some 15 weeks for this game because, of course, I'm sure many of you in Adelaide in particular will remember when they last met, and I think it was a game Adelaide was destined to win in round one. Everyone was pumped up, and the Crows, the home side, in front of a fanatical crowd of more than 44,000, went on to record an 86-point win. But since that time, both of these teams have had fluctuating fortunes. Hawthorn appear to be back on track now. They've won 3 in a row and are looking to make it 4. While Adelaide, it's a very important game for them, as you'll see by looking on the ladder. Hawthorn are currently holding down 5th spot, and the Adelaide Crows are currently holding down 9th spot. Incidentally, betting today, Hawthorn is 8-1 on, and the Adelaide Crows are 5-1 against. The Crows have got a fair run going home because they play a lot of their games at home at Football Park, so any wins they can get away from home at this stage will be a definite bonus if they have a chance of making the final 6. And Hawthorn would dearly like to keep winning just to keep creeping up the ladder after several hiccups earlier on in the season. Dermot Brereton, it's a big game for Dermot because, of course, it was against the Adelaide Crows that Dermot was eventually suspended for 5 matches. He'll be very keen to perform well today for Hawthorn across that half-forward line. I'm happy to say joining me today is the triple premiership player from Carlton, a man incidentally who was their deputy vice captain of the premiership team back in 1972 in Ian Robertson. What a build-up there, Robbo.
I don't know what to say, Sandy. I'm speechless for the first time for a long time.
And a man who kicked he played 367 games. He kicked 815 goals, Bernie Quinlan.
Yes,
Welcome, Bernie.
Thank you, Sandy. It's a great day here at the park. A big crowd too, and it might be a bit of a turnaround from the first round, though, I think, Sandy, today.
Testy game, isn't it, for both sides? I mean, the Crows would love to try and win, and the Hawks, they just want to keep that momentum going.
Well, the Hawks could consolidate their position in the 6 today if they get that little bit of a breakaway if they win today, and Adelaide need to keep in touch with a win today. So it's a tough game for both sides and a must game for Adelaide.
Let's have a look at the teams, gentlemen.
Well, the back line for Hawthorn solid as ever with Collins, Langford and Cooper. And the Adelaide side bringing in Wiedemann, a big, strong young man, and he'll have to bounce a few of those Hawthorn players.
Yes, Paul Abbott playing at centre-half back, filling in for the injured Chris Mew at the moment up against John Klug, who's had a fairly good season for Adelaide playing at centre-half forward.
And does that look like a printing error? Jarman and Jarman, opposite teams in the centre? No sirree. What a great battle.
Dermot Brereton, of course, the trump on the Hawthorn half-forward line against Bartlett named there. Also Pritchard and Condon, a pretty strong half-forward line for Hawthorn.
And a very, very potent full-forward line, the Hawks. Hall and Dunstall, great players. Tasker, Lee and Maynard, haven't they got a job in front of them?
Lawrence has done a good job in the ruck this year for Hawthorn, filling in for the injured Greg Deere, up against Mark Micken, who's resurrected his career this year for Adelaide.
And of course, Hawthorn interchange are 2 young players that have been in and out of the side a little bit, Madigan and Morrissey. And Kelly, the Adelaide player, making a comeback from a serious injury he suffered earlier in the season.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. We look forward to your comments throughout the afternoon. It's time now, though, for the Mitsubishi Motors ground report. And I've heard a rumour, a sneaking suspicion, that Max Stevens was last seen at the Adelaide Crows marketing shop. I wonder if there was a purchase. Welcome, Max.
Thanks very much, Sandy. And I've got to tell you, they had to pay me to wear this, and I had to pay for it from the Adelaide Crows. Now, the current temperature down here on the ground is 13.4. Our expected top is 15. The wind light to moderate northwesterly. Goal advantage, 1 to 2 goals blowing down the ground, right to left on screen. The forecast, a shower or 2 with sunny patches. Ground condition, fair to good. Now, it's pretty heavy underfoot, but when you consider the rain we've had here in Melbourne over the last couple of days, that's something that you'd definitely expect, Sandy.
Right, thank you, Max, for that. Yes, a winter's day, but it has fined up after very heavy rain yesterday, and it is really pretty good considering. Both sides are out on the ground. There are the Adelaide Crows just coming out now and going through their warm-up motions. We'll let them do that. We'll take a break and then be back with all the action here at VFL Park.
Hi, I'm Andrew Jarman from the Adelaide Crows, and you're watching AFL on 7.
Good evening. Would Bert Newton be there, please? Hello, Bert. Mr. Tony Alloy.
Yes, Rocky.
Yes. Everyone's happy. Now, we'll start off with the shot here.
Early in the night.
That was sensational, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was sensational. And look at this.
Station master. Bleak one along.
Where were you then, Robbo?
I didn't go on that.
Didn't you? Oh, of
No.
course you went to the... You were getting ready for that.
Yeah. Tuck playing game number 417.
Correct.
Sydney is... Oh no.
Oil the Eagles.
Bernie. What's the date today, please?
6th,
Of what? The 7th?
Yes.
91. Isn't that funny? Who's that, Bernie? Is that Madigan?
Where?
Going off.
Yes, Madigan.
And Morrissey. So they've done nothing.
What are we doing? Welcome back to VFL Park here in Melbourne. Just a brief reminder of other matches being played today. Melbourne play the West Coast Eagles. Carlton plays North Melbourne. And Collingwood plays Footscray. We'll have progress scores throughout the afternoon and also a replay of the Melbourne West Coast clash following this match. And there are two of the big guns as far as Hawthorn is concerned. Jason Dunstall in your picture now. Well, he missed 7 rounds, Bernie, and came back last week, and obviously the match practice will do him the world of good.
Yes, he didn't look 100% last week, Sandy, but of course he still kicked 38 goals for the season and is a tremendous full forward. He's averaging almost 4.5 goals a match in his AFL career, and he will be a handful for the Adelaide fullback, who Nigel Smart played on him in the first round and did a very good job. It looks as if Bartlett may be lining up at fullback this time to... No, that's the other end of the ground. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Nigel Smart is lining up again on Dunstall.
So set to go, a pretty good crowd here at VFL Park for this very important clash. Jarman gets it out for the Hawks, across to Whitman, swings round onto the left foot, gets a hurried kick up towards the half-forward line, and some heavy work on Ben Allen. Sees him with the football just forward of centre. Allen, Hawthorn going with the breeze at the back, and a chance for the Crows to clear. Out wide it comes through McDermott, their skipper, and an inspirational skipper too. But it's Lawrence, gets it away to Tuck. Game number 417 for Michael Tuck today. A monumental effort, and he's still running around like a spring chicken, Robbo.
He's amazing, Michael Tuck, and more importantly, Sandy, he justifies his position in the team week in, week out, and I think that's very important for Hawthorn, who are an excellent club, excellent team playing Australian rules football. Here's a chance for Pritchard in that left forward pocket, handball, goal to Hawthorn, kicked by Anderson. So the first goal on the scoreboard to the Hawks, an unselfish play by Darren Pritchard.
They are kicking with the breeze in this first term, of course, Hawthorn, so off to a good start. Some good work behind the play there by the big fella Lawrence earlier with his agility to get down and get that ball. Pritchard, who was a bit quiet earlier in the season, has come into his own in the last few weeks, playing more on the forward line. He was a winger last season, but lining up on the half-forward flank.
And the Adelaide Crows will certainly have to be very, very careful here that they don't let Hawthorn get clear, because they are a very damaging team, and these conditions at Waverley aren't all that bad. A little slippery. Hudson gets them out of the centre. Lawrence, who played a fantastic game the other Friday night against North Melbourne. Here's a chance for Brereton. He's got the football, tackled by Smart. That hasn't gone far enough, surely. Condon.
He's conned the umpire for sure, Condon.
Must have only gone about 8 metres, that ball.
It was good play, though, by Burton, because he was held by one arm and quickly got the ball onto his boot and went about 7.5 metres. You're right, Robbo.
Right. Gee whiz, a gift chance here for Condon from 50 metres with the breeze. He sets it up, kicks it nicely, just pulls it to the left and misses for a behind of the Hawks. So Hawthorn 1-1, lead the Crows yet to score in the early part of the big game here at VFL Park.
One of the great possession getters is Anthony Condon, currently averaging just over 24 disposals a game, which is a fine performance. McDermott to McGuinness, two of the key players for the Crows, combined to go up towards the centre wing area. The diving attempt was by Rod Maynard, and the ball is over the line. So a throw in on the outer side. Lawrence, Micken. Out the back it comes. Pritchard taken out of it by Jarman. Platten looking to get into the thick of things, but it's McDermott. Tried to get it to Micken again. Lawrence, hand pass is smothered. McGuinness looking to go past. Thrown out the back door. Picked up by Lawrence. A hurried kick down towards the half-forward region. Wasn't good along the ground, but Hudson gets the handball away. Here's a chance now for Jenke. Jenke's kick up towards Dunstall. Quick to recover. The hand pass out away again to Condon. A snap at goal. This time it's to the right, however. And another behind goes on the board. Anthony Condon has kicked 2 behinds. And the Hawks lead by 8 points.
And more importantly, at the moment, winning the ball around the centre of the ground. 2 centre square bounce downs, and Hawthorn have taken it away both times.
And Scott Lee with the football to kick it back into play for the Crows. He comes to the members' side. Not a bad kick outside 50, but reading it pretty well was Dermot Brereton, and he takes the mark on the 50-metre line. Indicating there to young Tasker that he's to get away and give him a bit of space to kick the football. And Brereton, well, Bernie, he'd probably kick the distance, wouldn't you think?
He should make the distance. He's got the wind at his back. Oh, terrible kick off the boot from Dermot.
Just slews off the side. Up high was Hall, couldn't mark the ball. Bartlett, hand pass was intercepted. Here's a chance for Hawthorn. It looks like it could be Tony Hall. No, he can't break clear. He's been penalised for holding it. And the ex-South Australian would be a little disappointed with that decision. The ball now with Lee. He's looking for a little bit of space from the umpire, but the umpire will not call the player on the mark back. So Lee goes to the outer side, kicks it close to the boundary line, and a good mark taken out there by Lawrence for Hawthorn just outside 50 metres.
A much improved player, Stephen Lawrence.
Isn't he maturing with every game? Short kick in towards the forward pocket. The mark is taken by Tony McGuinness.
So McGuinness looks downfield at the options open to him. Kicks up towards half-back, but Jarman is there and he takes the mark safely for Hawthorn. Looks for Pritchard. Hammered away by Lee. Micken's hand pass is wide. Working hard McDermott, as he always does at the bottom of the pack. Condon again, yet another possession. This time a hand pass away. Lawrence a high kick down towards full forward. Lee lost it. Jarman, solid body work to open a path for McGuinness's good football. Tony McGuinness stab passes towards the centre, but Whitman is in front and takes the mark.
Steady player, Chris Whitman.
Yep. To half forward he goes. Fisted away by Matthew Kelly. He's wearing 42. Jenke off the ground, gains valuable meterage. Opportunity for Hall if he can get clear. He can't. He's well caught. But Jenke gives it across to Platten. Platten snaps across the face of goal, and it goes out of bounds on the full.
Slick work by Jenke, wasn't it, Sandy?
My word. So settle back into this senior lineup, Ray Jenke, and playing some good football. Maynard.
It was never on. Good play by Cooper. It's amazing. Those sort of things don't appear on the stats, the minding of the mark. That player was never able to get back and kick it quickly. He knew there was a player further up the field, but excellent play by Cooper. The boundary throw in. Chance there for Bartlett. Now strong tackle on Filkey by Tuck. Forces the ball over the boundary line.
Yeah, good hook and shoulder by Michael Tuck, the veteran of the Hawthorn side. Good hard use of the body. 417-day games today to Michael Tuck.
Don't bodies get any softer as they get older, Bernie?
Not
Surely
one.
you knew all about it. Here's a chance for Hudson.
Oh, that's a bit hard, Robbo.
Allen, Condon. Condon's kick from about 50. Misses to the right. Well, I wasn't having a bit of a go at you. I was
You
just
weren't.
asking a question. surely they get softer as they get older.
Well, Michael Tuck's got that long, lean build, and he's always been sinews and muscles, and he still is.
I know of 3 bodies that have got softer as they get older, but we won't go into that. Towards the boundary line once again and over on that outer side. Just repeating, if you were having a bet today on the football, the Crows were 5-1 against, and Hawthorn at the almost unbackable odds of 8-1 on. Allen and Marshall contest. McGuinness going past, has McDermott running with him, but elects to take the kick. Down towards centre wing, Whitman again. Too strong at the moment for Matthew Liptak. Centering kick towards half forward, hammered away by Scott Lee in towards the centre. Field kick, could have almost been free kick, and will be, certainly. Grant Filkey wants the runners going down the outer side and gets one in McGuinness. He's got to get through the bog in that particular area and does so well. Centering kick to half forward, looking for Klug. Platten late, but an effective spoil. Klug forced to get it away quickly. It goes straight to Darren Jarman, whose mum is here today. Evelyn is watching Darren and Andrew perform at VFL Park, and there's the other brother. Put a bit of pressure on his teammate, but he eventually gets it out to Marshall. Marshall's kick up towards half forward, fisted away again by Whitman over the boundary line.
Whitman's been very good in defence the last few weeks for Hawthorn. A solid performer, playing across that half-back line.
Well, they've got a very experienced player in John Kennedy running around in the reserves. So all players, the pressure's on them for Hawthorn.
Marshall thinks about a soccer off the ground, but once he sees his skipper put his head down over there, decides against it. Critical game for the Crows because they can't really afford to let that gap widen between them and the sides above them. And they do have a fair run home. Then again, so does Hawthorn. Socket off the ground, down towards half forward for the Hawks. Beautifully picked up by Jenke, but equally as well tackled. The ball spills free. Now a chance for Pritchard. Pritchard's got Allen running with him, and he shoots it in towards the forward line. Dunstan.
Superb team play by the Hawks. Once they get the ball, they're also a hard tackling side, but a very high skill side. And that's a terrific combination, a hard combination to stop when you have a side that is prepared to work and a side who can also finish off their work so well.
Well, he's missed 7 rounds, Bernie, but he's still kicked 38 goals for the season. He and Hudson have both kicked 38. Now Dunstall takes the lead. First goal to Jason Dunstall today, and the Hawks second. They move to 2-3, leading Adelaide yet to score.
And a very confident kick at goal there from Jason Dunstall. He looked confident on the way back. He looked totally relaxed in that kicking action. Very solid performer, Jason Dunstall. Strong around the hips and the shoulders. Very strong upper body player. Can use the body very well in one-on-one marking contests.
So the bounce back in the centre, Hawthorn leading by 15 points. There's a free kick being picked out of it, maybe the advantage rule, and it comes up towards full forward, but coming out strongly was Collins. Kick smothered, chance for Cooper. Platten takes it and then gives it to Cooper. Cooper's kick wide to half forward, nearly the mark to Hudson. Good play by Bartlett. No, it wasn't. Interfered with the Hawthorn player, and Hudson takes the free kick. No messing around. Anderson's found some space at half forward, runs inside 50 metres, kicks it to the front of the square. Dunstall, one-hander. Not paid. And rush through for a behind. I find that very, very hard to accept.
Yes, must have been a very close decision, that one. Dunstall using his body well, as I said earlier, with that strength, upper body strength of his.
And he's accepting the umpire's decision. He had a bit of a go at him, but a wry smile on his face. Lee kicks it in. McDermott at half-back, can't get out. That could have nearly been deemed a free kick to Anderson. And McGuinness not attempting to move it on. The umpire calls for a ball up. And surely the players will find it a little difficult to follow a couple of those decisions.
Umpires today are Brenton Carlin and Gavin Dorr. So the ball thrown up on that outer side. Brereton with strength comes away with a left foot in towards Tony Hall. Had front spot, but socket away from him. Jarman, if he gets clear, look out. Shoots in towards goal and rolls it straight into the post. Darren Jarman.
That'll be an interesting contest, won't it, Sandy? Andrew Jarman up against younger brother Darren.
Well, remember the opening round, and Andrew had the better of things in Adelaide. Interesting to see what unfolds today. Micken in front of Lawrence takes the mark.
Lawrence trying to mark on that occasion from behind, and of course should have went for the punch.
Short kick and not effective. Taken by Anthony Condon, who's been busy in this first quarter. Maynard gets it away, but the ball spills free to Jarman. He floats it wide looking for Jenke. Doesn't get a good bounce. Tuck going past his claim. Does get rid of the football. Hudson again, back to Jenke. Clever kicking. Could see the player in Pritchard had created the space, dropped into the hole on his own. And Darren Pritchard now will have a shot just 35 metres out.
There's clever play again by Hawthorn. They use the ball well. Michael Tuck coming in with some strong body work again. Was able to feed that ball out to a teammate.
Pritchard puts it straight through the middle for the Hawks. So this is a pretty good start. Admittedly, they're kicking with the breeze, but 3-5 and Adelaide yet to score.
There's probably danger signs here for Adelaide. They're not moving the ball out of the middle at any stage. Adelaide winning all the loose balls and working particularly hard to make sure that they get the numbers around the pack. As we look at this kick from Pritchard again. A very good kick at goal. Wiedemann just on for the Adelaide Crows off the bench.
And the Adelaide Crows have made a change. Wiedemann has come onto the ground for his first taste of the afternoon's activities. Kelly in there for Adelaide, a last-minute inclusion for Scott Hodges, who was, Sandy, ill, apparently.
Yes, a virus struck a couple of the players. Wiedemann's one of football nomads, Robbo, but we learn that he does run straight at the football.
Well, I think Adelaide, after last Saturday's performance against Collingwood, certainly need a few of those types in their team. They get the ball up to half forward, taken away by Cooper, kicks it wide, leading in the race is Filkey. A little bit too quick for Langford, but Langford keeps his footing nicely. Good shepherding by McIntyre, gives Marshall a chance to kick it inside 50. It's Adelaide's first real chance. McGuinness slipping over at a critical stage, the ball trundling over the boundary line. Just mentioning that kicking against the breeze, their centre line players and their half forwards have got to work a heck of a lot harder and not allow Hawthorn any sort of space to take the ball down to their forward line. Abbott clears back in towards the centre. Lawrence and Micken. Lawrence marks in front of the big Adelaide Crows player. The ball comes to Condon. Condon kicks it directly towards centre half forward. Hawks mark taken by Hudson. Not much opposition.
Robbo, that's an example of moving the ball on as quickly as possible. Lawrence, the first hand pass, almost getting his teammate into trouble, but the support there again coming from the Hawthorn players. And getting the ball onto that forward line is so very important if you can get it there very quickly.
Paul Hudson, who's kicked a lot of goals for the Hawks this year, but this one is not quite accurate enough. And A behind. He's kicked 38, according to the information that I've got in front of me here. So just a little bit errant, that shot. Lee's kick in finds Marshall between fullback and centre half-back. He plays onto the unnatural side for David Marshall, but not a bad kick. And what a good mark taken by the evergreen Michael Tuck. Forward of centre wing, he kicks it into the pocket. Drop punt kick, looks for Brereton and finds him. Too strong and in a much better position than Marshall there. And Brereton may steady and have a shot for goal. I think he feels that he's kicking straight into the breeze, so it'll be a difficult shot from there. But he's electing to have a ping at them. Not a bad kick to the front of the square. Helped over in the finish. No, Platten's got it. Kicks it over his head. And what's he done? I think he's kicked a goal. Has it gone over the line? Yes. So Johnny Platten gets his first goal. And again, fairly ordinary defence by the Crows.
Yes, but great work there by Johnny Platten. Almost a miraculous goal away. Got that over his head and was able to kick that goal. He got out of jail, really. There's plenty of players converged in that goal square, and he just ducked his head to get out of that tackle. And plenty of Adelaide players, they could do nothing, because that's a terrific snap at goal from Johnny Platten.
The Hawks building a very substantial lead as Micken wins it, but it goes straight to Cooper, who pumps Hawthorn into attack again. This time over the head of Brereton, but he's quick to lay the tackle. Ben Allen late on the scene, pushes it out. Brereton claimed from behind. Good work.
Oh, it's on too, but
On behind play.
And Wiedemann.
Now, Wiedemann was the player that came on. In the meantime, play goes on. A behind has been scored. And Wayne Wiedemann, who tried out at Collingwood, played with Woodville West Torrens, Woodville Torrens, as it's now known. But has certainly travelled the football wilderness. Bernie?
He looks a good competitive type of player too, Sandy.
Kick back into play. Wiedemann. Now Jarman, if they can get something going here. Jarman looks up towards half forward, and a good mark taken in front by Rod Jamieson. Plays on quickly down towards full forward. Trying to use the one hand. Not successful was McIntyre. Pressure on the Hawthorn defence now. Cooper does it well. Brings it out towards centre half back. And again, they've got the numbers. Lawrence takes the hand pass. Collins gave it to Whitman. To half forward. Over the back, Hudson. Here are the runners. Pritchard, a little stab for Dunstall, and he takes it 45 metres out.
Well, that was as good a football as you're ever likely to see, that passage of play from Hawthorn out of the back line. And Dunstall ending up with the ball, but a great passage of play, a good pass there from Pritchard. Brereton also doing well. He knocked the ball on when he was out of the contest with Maynard.
Dunstall going for his second. He's pulled that to the left. Well, perhaps a little fortuitous for Adelaide that Hawthorn are not kicking straight. They've had 12 effective scoring shots at goal and have booted 4 goals 8. However, early days yet. Smart brings it back into play. Good mark taken by Allen. Ben Allen, outside 50. He's had a good year. Centering kick to half forward. Hudson on his own.
Too easy, Sandy. Too easy.
Bernie, this is what happened last week against Collingwood. And really, in football, if you stand up against your man and just run with him, surely you shouldn't get thrashed, should you?
Well, there was no one. Where was his man
Where
on
was
that
he?
occasion? He just wasn't in the contest. Gee, a forward doesn't expect to take marks unattended like that on the forward line. Unbelievable.
Hudson directly in front. And he's put it straight through the middle. Paul Hudson gets his first, his 39th goal for the season, and Hawthorn moved to 5-8. The Crows still yet to score.
And one of the reasons why Hawthorn are doing so well this year, it's amazing the possessions already. Hawthorn have had 60 possessions, Adelaide only 23, so that's how they've dominated the game up until this stage. Hudson, one of the very dangerous players that Adelaide must be aware of.
Bounce back in the centre. Darren Jarman, Platten, Jenke. Combination again from the Hawks, very talented. Dunstall tries to take the one-hander once again, goes after it, gives a good shepherd. Anderson's kick across the face into the right forward pocket. Tony Hall and his opponent for the afternoon, young Sean Tasker. The ball goes over for a boundary throw-in. 5-8 to 0. And Brereton and Maynard to do the ruck work. Brereton stronger. Away it comes to Wiedemann. A quick kick. He was under a little bit of pressure. Micken taps it. Andrew Jarman. Marshall. Combination not bad. They'll get clear through Bickley. Bickley's kick into the centre. Lip tack. Back it goes to Bickley. Good play. Now the Adelaide Crows have mounted something a little bit constructive. Up it comes to McIntyre. Punched away a little too easily. Tuck was he interfered? No. Ball still at half forward. Oh, underneath the football there is Murphy. And he's going to be penalised, is he? No.
Very lucky not to be free kick there, because he ducked his head when he saw the tackle about to be applied by Langford.
50 metres from goal. Murphy taps it down. Tuck read it better. Back in towards the centre. Mark taken by Micken. Micken spots the play out at members' side half forward. Tuck in front. And that's what experience does for you. Kicking against the breeze. Be in front. Plays on quickly. Cooper, half back. Kicks it over the wing. Half forward Brereton, too easy again. looking to give it off. Now he's called to play on. Kicks with the left foot, up towards the 50-metre line. Coming out is Dunstall. Can't do much with it. Still looks a little proppy, Jason Dunstall. But what a valuable player he is for Hawthorn up in front of the goals there. Tremendous goal kicker. And it's so far this afternoon has kicked one.
Free kick.
Yeah, free kick against Jarman there. Andrew Jarman just getting into the back of Dermot Burton in that boundary ruck contest. Incidentally, Dunstall only needs 1 goal to kick his 600th. And Burton only needs 1 goal to kick 400.
Just a mind of information, isn't he, Robert?
Beautiful.
Brereton from 50. Looking for distance, pulls it to the left. So he remains on 399 goals.
And Hawthorn with 14 scoring shots to 0 for the Adelaide Crows.
Ominous signs. Smart to the outer side. Condon up high, an effective spoil. McGuinness waiting down in front is claimed. The ball spills free. Micken headed for the boundary line. And the umpire says, no, Mark, you cannot do that. Well, they have become a little more lenient on that rule, but on that occasion, it was not a very subtle move.
Bit too obvious, yep.
So Condon, he looks as though he might maintain his average of disposals. If he keeps this up, he's had a very good first quarter, and it's a lovely kick in towards full forward. That's a goal. Oh, the danger signs are up. Hawthorn are 6-9, Adelaide yet to score.
Well, almost unbelievable. 15 shots at this stage of the game. Coming up to time on in the first quarter, 15 shots to 0. And 1 goal there to Condon. He's kicked 1 goal 3. Missed a couple of easy shots earlier in the match too, Hawthorn, so it could have been a real whitewash in this first quarter.
(6-9 to nothing) with 5 minutes left in the quarter. Platten will get Hawthorn up towards centre half forward once again. And Anderson, handball wide. Hudson, Condon, nearly messed it up. Condon then gives it to the unselfish Hudson. Hudson goes for goal and pulls the kick very badly. I suppose underfoot it may be a little difficult for the players, and in particular with those snapshots.
Actually, it's wetter, the park here, than it has been for years. A very wet June here in Melbourne, and it has taken its toll on the surface out here, Sandy, at the park.
So the kick in by Smart, gathered by Condon. Allen, Hawthorn into attack once again, into the forward pocket. Hudson, no, he can't quite mark that one. Andrew Jarman gets back to do a little bit of heavy work in the back pocket for the Adelaide Crows. Still there a chance. Kelly's kick across his left shoulder goes to no one in particular. In comes Darren Jarman, kicks for goal, and he doesn't miss those, the champion. That word can be used loosely at times, but that man has got some absolute talent, and he makes no mistake from 40 metres.
Yes, very true words, Robbo. If he gets a chance, this man, he really wastes a disposal.
And at the moment, Bernie, there has been a 138-point turnaround from when they last met.
And Robbo suggested about a 37-goal turnaround would probably be the end result.
Bit early though, isn't it? 7-10 to nothing.
Centre bounce, and here they go again. Michael Tuck. High floating kick. Marshall. Courage to stand under that ball and take the mark.
The other interesting stat is 7 different players have kicked the 7 Hawthorn goals.
Yeah. Marshall's kick towards Klug. He's still a long way out, but he'll send them inside 50. Langford at the back to try and spoil McIntyre, but he's not good enough, and a good grab by Peter McIntyre. So this will be their first set shot at goal.
It'll also give us an idea of how strong the wind is, Sandy.
Yes, quite right. He's kicking from 50, and it'll drift just in front of the square. Tuck got first hand to it, and we'll find ourselves with a bounce or a ball up in that forward zone.
I thought that was Lee there underneath the pack. He was playing in the back pocket.
From one end of the ground to the other. The Crows do have their supporters here, which is good to see. quite as bad. A bounce, socket off the ground, and one behind was Michael Murphy, sockering off the ground.
Gee, they're lousy, the Hawk supporters, aren't they? Booing that score from Adelaide.
Hate giving anything away. Look at that kick. Jenke unopposed. It was a beautiful kick back into play. Pritchard's running on the wing. Sits nicely for him. He'll try and pull it back up towards that 50-metre line. And a good mark taken by Tony Hall. Geez, a player, isn't he, Robbo?
Yes, a very, very skilled player. And actually, that's what's filling the Hawthorn team at the moment, Sandy. That skill level is tremendous. Another player who gets a lot of the footy, Dean Anderson.
And the South Australian contingent of this Hawthorn lineup is becoming stronger every day. That kicks away to the left, almost a mark. It's going to be paid.
It's a free, I think. He paid a free against Maynard. Interference. I don't think he could have paid that mark, Sandy. He didn't control the ball long enough, Dermot Burton, but Maynard, his opponent for the day, I think Dermot made it look a little bit worse than it actually was as we look at it in replay. And Dermot certainly went to the ground more from, it's a little bit hard to say. A little bit of a knack there, Sandy, I think it was.
I thought it was a pathetic free kick.
Yes, just talking about that South Australian influence. You've got Platten, Hall, Jarman, Robert, Whittlesey. The latter two still to make their presence really felt in senior ranks. Hawthorn officials very optimistic. Brereton gains a little bit of a better angle and promptly pops through another one. So Dermot has kicked his first. And that now Bernie is 8 separate goal kickers.
8 separate goal kickers to the Hawks.
8-10 to the behind.
Dermot Burton has kicked his 400th goal in AFL football, averaging about 2.6 goals a game, Sandy Dermot. So he's been a great player for Hawthorn over the years, a very physical player.
And you're not going to have a second look at that slow-mo replay of the free kick, are you?
Well, I said it wasn't a free kick. There was a lot of acting involved and the umpire fell for it.
Unbelievable. And they get a goal out of it, which is more important. Adelaide still to kick a goal in this first term. Micken gets the tap out. Klug handballs to no one in particular. Allen's on the end of it for the Hawks, and he kicks it wide to half forward. Condon running, strong by Wiedemann. Marshall doing the shepherd on Pritchard, allows Kelly. Ordinary hand pass by that player, and he's got the footy underneath him. He could be penalised. No, the umpire giving that man the benefit of the doubt. Condon gets a pat on the head from his teammate there in Anderson, and the umpire will call for a ball up. So that's an indication of how boggy it is out there on that outer side. Very, very difficult for the players to keep their footing. Now Hawks go up towards the forward pocket area, punched away by Tasker. Talented player there, Hall, gives it to Hudson. In turn to Condon. They use this footy unbelievably, Hawthorn. Kick towards full forward. Dunstall at the back. He may kick it off the ground. No, he leaves it. And Jarman, was it? Kicked the ball with his left foot and scored a behind right on the siren. So at quarter time, Hawthorn lead, and it is emphatic. 8-11 to 1 behind.
Can you hear me?
I don't think they've got him down the van, though. Stumbury first, though. Quarter time here at VFL Park, and if you're a Crow supporter and you just walked into the lounge room, maybe a bit of a shock. Hawthorn 8-11, 59. Adelaide are 1 behind, and gentlemen, all one-way traffic just about in that first quarter.
Yes, Graham Corns walking off the field. I don't think he'd be too happy with the performance of the Adelaide Crows in that first quarter. They face a monumental task now to get back into the match. A couple of the team leaders, they're having a head-to-head chat, McDermott and McGuinness, and also Jarman. But gee, they've really blown this game wide open, Hawthorn, in that first quarter.
And Bernie, I don't know whether he's climbed off the tram, but Max Stevens has suddenly put away the Crows beanie. Any news, Max?
Yes, Sandy, well, they're giving me heaps down here, so I had to take it off. Now, Graham Corn's very disappointed. I mean, the scoreboard tells the story. He wants more bite, more aggression, pleaded with the Crows to use the wind in this next 30 minutes. Otherwise, Hawthorn could run away with this game before half-time. Alan Joyce, well, as one would expect, very pleased. Told the Hawks to keep playing on, keep the ball moving, and it'll pay dividends.
Thank you, Max. Quick look at the scores from other games. Well, Carlton are hammering North Melbourne. Footscray straight kicking for goal, leading Collingwood by 9 points, and the West Coast Eagles bad kicking for goal, but they lead by 5 points. Brings you up to date with all matches being played today. Quick look at some stats. Bernie, you're the master.
Amazing stats in that first quarter. 84 possessions to Hawthorn and only 37 to the Adelaide Crows. Marks 23 to Adelaide, 23 to Hawthorn, 11 to Adelaide, and centre break 7 Hawthorn to Adelaide.
Well, let's see what the Crows can do in the second quarter. They trail by 58 points after a blistering opening by Hawthorn, but this time the Crows have the breeze. McDermott tries to get it out. McGuinness gets a hurried kick, doesn't travel a great distance. McDermott again at the bottom, again gets it out. Tuck's kick is partly smothered. They want the first couple badly. Klug's hand pass is good. Now an opportunity for Wiedemann to set them down in towards the 50-metre line. That's better play. And we find McIntyre will have a shot or kick to a reasonably vacant forward zone. They drift down there now. He goes long, going for distance, dribbles over the back, hitting the post for 1 behind.
So they really needed that to be a goal, Sandy, to give them... they got the ball out of the centre after Hawthorn, well, nearly had the shackles on them, didn't they? About 4 or 5 attempts and eventually got it out. It was good play to get the ball to McIntyre, but unfortunately his kick was just astray.
This would have been nice to start off with a goal in this second quarter. Langford brings it back into play. He's looking for Lawrence, who's at the back. No mark. Jarman at the bottom. Twisting and turning was Jamison. McDermott off to McGuinness. Pulls it round his body. Ricochets off Michael Tuck. Oh, but he does it well. He regains it, regains his composure, and Hawthorn suddenly find the football down with Dermot Brereton on half forward. Jarman going past. A gentle little stab finds Condon. Down towards 70 metres. Jarman still running. Kicks them inside 50. Wrestling match, and it's won by Dunstan.
Well, you will find that on most occasions on a one-on-one confrontation, the full-back and the full-forward, Jason Dunstall has got the upper body strength to just wrestle his opponent off the ball and usually wins out in that situation.
Just kicked the 1 in the first term. And kicking from 45 metres, see what he does into this breeze. Oh, makes no effect whatsoever. He goals. And that is what the Crows, Bernie, did not want.
No, well, they had the chance. They won the ball out of the centre early, and unfortunately that kick from Bartlett just hitting the post for the Crows, and all of a sudden they swing the ball down the other end. Good use of the body there by Dunstall, and that is his 600th goal in AFL football. An amazing performance, being a tremendous player at full forward for the Hawks.
And the player that was probably instrumental in getting the ball forward, Darren Jarman, I feel just having the better of his older brother at the moment in the centre. Hudson can't get the ball clear. Condon has it. Handball. Allen intercepting there was Bickley. Filkey now kicks it towards half forward. Jamison and Collins. Jamison gets it to the back. Lee, who's a pretty tough customer, goes down. Lawrence goes to Whitman, and Whitman clears for Hawthorn. Crows have got the numbers out here. There's a chance for Bickley. Sweeping hand pass gives McDermott the chance. Great smother by Jenke, and this is the difference. The Hawks very, very rarely let their opposition get a clear kick on the forward line. Lawrence overruns it. Jarman gets the hand pass away. Klug, they're all under pressure. Now Jamison's got a clear kick, but the ball is smothered. Lawrence goes to Whitman. The Hawks will get clear of half back. Chris Whitman, with about his 7th possession, kicks it to centre half forward. No mark taken there by Brereton. Oh, Wiedemann again, was it? And Brereton having a bit of a dust-up behind play. Klug, short pass is not bad, and the mark is taken by Marshall. Lawrence a little late on the scene. Marshall runs around. Short pass is okay. Jarman, McGuinness running on. 50 metres from goal. No one to give it to. Klug. Little pass by Klug is a little too high there for McIntyre. And Collins tidies up for the Hawks, but the kick goes as far as Klug. Klug handball. McGuinness caught by Platten. Ball comes back to McIntyre. Micken overruns it. Langford's hand pass. Kick off the ground by Allen. Close to the boundary line. Ben Allen slips over, and strong at the football was McDermott. Still at slow motion play there by the Adelaide Crows. Platten's got a chance. Eventually his kick goes close to the line, and it's taken over by Wiedemann and Condon. And boy, do the Hawks work overtime in the clinches. It is fantastic.
So, the throw in, almost on centre wing, through the arms of McGuinness, taken by Hudson, down towards Brereton. Wanted someone going past. His hand pass goes astray over, straight to Kelly. High kick, back towards the centre. Jarman at the bottom, loses control of the football. It spills free. Marshall applies the tackle. Ben Allen pulled off the football when he didn't have it. Anderson runs into trouble but gets out of it. Thought Wiedemann had him there for a moment. His kick is not a good one, straight to Jarman. So Andrew Jarman, who's been averaging just under 27 disposals a game, been a fine start by him. Platten's got a free kick on centre wing.
Sandy, when Andrew Jarman had the football at half back, there was no one to kick it to.
Not a good kick anyway, Robbo, off the boot. Just going for the drop punt, but just floated off the boot. Went about 20 metres.
Johnny Platten looking for Brereton. Had front spot. Pritchard skis almost over the line. So just into the Hawthorn attacking zone. The Hawks have had the brakes put on for the moment with their scoring, but look at that kick to Dunstall. Spoilt by Smart. Great recovery by Dunstall. Wants someone going past. Shovels it out the back door. Pritchard tries to soccer off the ground. Dunstall's up once again, but Smart, working hard, sees the ball over the line.
It was a good effort by Smart. I thought a couple of times he was bulked out of it by Jason Dunstall, but he kept fighting on, which is terrific.
That was great defence to get a fist to that ball.
Dunstall again. Well, just a clever little palm on. Again, he wanted someone going past. Didn't find it. Anderson ducks his head. He may lose that. It's Pritchard at the bottom. He's got rid of the goatee beard. So a bounce almost in the Hawks square. Brereton and Micken. Handball straight up in the air. McGuinness should be able to take this away. He does with a deft little pass. The player he was looking for was Matthew Liptak, but he was taken out of it. And Jarman goes over the line.
Good shepherd by Jenke.
63 points the margin.
Micken and Lawrence. Micken gets the tap out, but it's not really all that effective. Anderson, nice little hand pass. Platten up against the boundary line, pulled off by Micken. Surely that's a free kick. Play on, says the umpire. Wiedemann. Now McDermott just dummies a little bit through Lawrence. Kicks it towards the centre wing position. Chance for Klug. Handball, not bad, but Whitman was there for Hawthorn. Tuck and Jarman combined, and eventually the Hawks get out of trouble. It's Cooper. Cooper's kick towards centre-half forward. Brereton, 2 players on him. Maynard at the back. In front was Kelly. Filkey tackled by Brereton. Was that a free kick? No, says the umpire. Pritchard's caught. Certainly the umpire's letting play go. Kelly now and Filkey, they're bogged down completely out there on that half-forward flank for Hawthorn. Now McGuinness, hand pass. Bickley in there. Now an opportunity for Pritchard. Shares it away with Brereton. Short pass, Dunstall. Tries to tap it to his own advantage. Smart. Gee, he's got a big heart, that man. Maynard now, hand pass. McGuinness gets around Anderson and kicks the Adelaide team out of trouble at the moment. Whitman, a big punch from behind. Overrunning it was Abbott. Hand pass goes back towards Jamison. He saw the player running through, but Collins is there for Hawthorn, and he kicks it back to half forward, and the mark is taken there by Lawrence.
Plays straight on to Platt, and they've got the runners again. Pritchard outside 50, a stab pass. Dunstall just can't get there. Smart can, but he's buffing it out. Hall working hard at the bottom, almost loses his jumper. And another bounce.
And again, credit to that man there with the football on his chin. Smart. I'm a big rap for him. He has a real red-hot go.
Well, that's what they need.
No doubt about that. Smart, a very good fullback.
Micken down to McGuinness is good. Tony McGuinness. Floating kick to centre wing. He just runs and runs, the old 38-year-old. Cross to Anthony Condon. Had a good first quarter and his form's continuing. Wants Anderson, but caught out of position on that occasion, and the mark taken by Kelly. Good to see him back in the Crows lineup. This is Filkey. What's he got up forward? Jarman. Plays on quickly with a lightning hand pass. This is a better movement. Can they finish it off now? The kick from Jamison in towards goal, and they've broken the ice. Rod Jamison gets his and the Crows first. 1-2, Hawthorn and 9-11.
Yes, well, a long time coming, almost 10 minutes into the second quarter before the Adelaide Crows have kicked their first goal, but it was a good build-up. Jamison, one of the leading goal kickers in the Crows side for the year. He's kicked over 20 goals for the Crows. An excellent kick at goal. And they must persist with the handball and try to use the ball better than they have in that first part of this match.
So Hawthorn 9-11 lead Adelaide 1-2. We're halfway through the second term. And again, it was the talent of Andrew Jarman. Lovely couple of beautiful hand passes. Jenke now. Pritchard. Pritchard's pass towards full foot. Little high there for Dunstall. Kelly has the football. Hudson's the tackler. Could be penalised, Kelly. Yes. Made no attempt. And there's been 4 or 5 of them so far. No decision has been made. The umpire has either let play go or decided on a ball up. But this time, the free kick is against the Adelaide Crows defender. We'll have another look. Bernie?
He may have even been grabbed by the arm on this occasion. Hudson just made it very difficult. Brereton also had hold of his right arm and made sure that he couldn't get the hand pass away.
Hudson's kick. He makes no mistake from 30 metres. Paul Hudson gets his second goal. He and Jason Dunstall, the only multiple goal scorers in the game so far, and the Hawks get their 10th.
Here's a replay of that incident again with Kelly. Maybe that leg of Hudson over the shoulder on that first instance, but you can see there that Brereton had hold of Kelly's right arm and just made sure that he couldn't handball the ball away.
So back in the middle once more. Sun shining here at VFL Park midway through the second quarter. 71 plays 8. Who can win it out of the centre? Kicked by Jarman is smothered. Sock off the ground attempt by Liptak goes out towards the wing. Tuck used the body nicely. Wants someone going past. Liptak again. His claim. Jarman, look at him very quickly and does it well to McDermott, who gets a kick down towards Hart. Darryl Hart. McGuinness going past. Just gets rid of it in time. Can they set something up here? The long kick forward is by Jamison again. Down towards the forward line. No mark taken. Ball spills free. Allen gets a hurried kick down towards the half-back flank region where it wobbles over the boundary line. So a throw in the Crows attacking zone. They want goals and they want them very badly. Lawrence to Platten. Johnny Platten's got Jenke on his own. Can play on. Got the loose man and Tuck scoots away up towards Tony Hall. If it sits, he could be in business. It's boggy in that area of the ground. Cat and mouse game going on there. Hall still got front spot. Sean Tasker really persisting. I don't think the Hawthorn fans liked it too much. Now Jarman, short little kick to Pritchard, wants to give it back and does. Clever use of the hands. In towards the pocket, Dunstall one grab and then it goes over the line.
How many guys got in there to help Tasker then?
None.
Well, Tasker's done a good job actually on Tony Hall. Tony Hall best on the ground last week against North Melbourne in the Friday night game. And Tasker's kept him to one possession. Almost 15 minutes into this second quarter.
40 metres from the Hawks' goal. Micken takes it out of the ruck contest and kicks it back towards the centre. No mark to Abbott. Chance for Filkey. Jenke the tackler in the back surely against Darren Jarman there. And the free kick will go to the Crows winger, Grant Filkey. He plays on quickly. Kicks it high back in towards the centre. Marshall can't mark. Allen his opponent. Whitman, Collins. Those durable duo. Now the ball comes out to Liptak. Liptak's kick across his left shoulder. Klug's a chance. Punched away by Abbott. Kick off the ground by Cooper, close to the line. Cooper may even let it go out. No. He hand passes to Platten, who always seems to work to get to the position to help out his teammates. Darren Jarman marks very, very wide of his brother, Andrew Jarman, who may now be on the half-forward flank. His opponent looks as though it could be Michael Tuck. So the Crows have swung a few changes, and it's good to see.
That was a rarity, that kick from Darren Jarman, missing the target. He usually makes sure that his teammates get it right on the chest.
Durable duo.
Like that one?
I did. You've had your little nose in Roger's thesaurus. Jenke.
Where does he play?
Half-back flank. Whitman. To the half-forward line. Brereton in the pack.
Great mark.
Yeah, great grab, Dermot.
Plays on. Little too high for Condon. Ben Allen will give him support. Allen still going. 55 metres out. Smart gets front spot, and that was good football. McGuinness over the top. So much pressure on this Crows defence. Tasker brings it away to Jarman. Andrew Jarman from the half-back flank converts it up towards centre wing and caught out of position.
And it's very important because if the player had been able to get his footing quickly, there was a loose player further afield.
Murphy. The player caught out of position was Cooper. Murphy's kick to half forward. They rebound so well, Hawthorn. Langford, and the kick just dropping short. McDermott takes the mark. They've got the loose man there. That's Sean Tasker. Goes down towards the half-forward line once again, and the mark taken by McIntyre. His kick puts the Crows inside 50. Big pack of players. Tuck is in there.
It's a mark to
and
Murphy,
a mark
surely.
is going to be paid to Michael Murphy.
Well, I thought so, Sandy. I reckon he got his hands on it first.
Yep.
That was a good grab actually in the middle of the pack, Murphy. Michael Tuck in front, slightly misjudging it. Didn't get his hands on the ball, Michael Tuck. Didn't get him up there to contest. And well done, Murphy, to hold that ball.
So Michael Murphy looking for his first goal.
Had a few games with North Melbourne, this player, I think.
30 metres out. Should not miss from there, and does not. So the Crows score their second for the match, their second for the quarter. They're 2-2, trailing Hawthorn 10-11.
Yes, and it's even status quo in this second quarter, both sides scoring 2 goals. And there's that mark again to Murphy, under a fair bit of pressure by the Hawk defenders, with Michael Tuck just not able to get a fist to the ball. Murphy a damaging forward when he has the opportunity in that forward line.
So the bounce back in the centre with 10.5 minutes left. There's a mistake made here by Adelaide. Too many players in the centre square. So the free kick will go to Lawrence. Lawrence kicks to centre half forward. Brereton punched away by Maynard. Chance for McDermott. Little hand passes, not bad. Went past Wiedemann and found Marshall. But Marshall's kick is 6 out of 10, I would think. Falls on the chest of Michael Tuck. Tuck's got a player in support. Whitman's kick high. towards centre-half forward. Brereton can't mark. Goes after it again. Maynard's his opponent. Pritchard. Hand pass not bad. Tony Hawley's first real possession. Brereton goes after Wiedemann. Maynard nearly kicked their kick off the ground by Brereton. Goes through for a behind. So a bit of anxiety there for the Adelaide defenders. And they would have been a little stiff because they worked pretty hard there. And Smart will kick in for them. Comes to this member's side, gets good distance with the kick. Out towards half-back. Micken could have been nearly paid the mark. Gives it to Marshall. In turn to McGuinness. McGuinness's kick not too bad. On centre wing. Good play by Murphy. Looks a little slow, but able to get away from Cooper. The kick slews a little bit off the side of his left foot. Taken over by that very strong defender for Hawthorn, Langford, just outside 50 metres. Chris Langford always seems to be in control there across that full back line for Hawthorn. McIntyre, Langford doing the ruck work. Langford gets it down. Cooper's kick goes about 15 metres towards his goal, and it's over for another boundary throw-in.
Time ticking away in this second quarter. Jarman takes it from the throw-in and pumps the Crows down towards the half-forward line. Klug and Abbott. Klug has the better of that encounter. Gets a handball in towards the square and will be taken over for one behind by Chris Langford.
Actually, that was a good play there by Klug. On a lot of occasions when a player hasn't got anyone to give it to in particular, the sweeping hand pass towards goal can sometimes result in a player streaming in, and the advantage is with his teammate, and he may even get a goal.
Chris Langford, one of the veterans in this Hawthorn lineup, approaching a major milestone, 200 games. Lawrence has done very well, improving all the time. Good work by Kelly to charge through, give it to Jarman. Still a long way out. Langford front spot, couldn't take it cleanly. Abbott well tackled. Langford again spoons it out. Abbott has recovered. Klug is there. John Klug gets the handball away. Past McGuinness it goes. Tony McGuinness still in there. Goes to ground with Platten. Comes out the back door to Collins. And Andy Collins steadies it down. Mark not taken, however. Hart at the bottom of the pack. Thrown out the back door towards Chris McDermott. Goes wide to Filkey. Grant Filkey was set upon by Jarman, but he gets his kick, and it is effective. Short to the half-forward line, the mark taken by Liptak.
They've looked better in this quarter, Adelaide, actually. They've used the ball a lot better than they did in that first quarter. Mainly because they've had possession in this quarter. They couldn't get a hand on the ball in the first quarter when Hawthorn dominated.
Well, they've kept the Hawks burning to just 2 goals 1 this term too, whilst they themselves have kicked 2 goals 2. Liptak from 40 metres. That looks pretty good. There's another one to the Crows. So Matthew Liptak gets his first. 3 goals this quarter for the Crows. They are 3-3, trailing Hawthorn 10-12.
There's 51-point deficit to the Adelaide Crows and a long way to go, but at least they're working a lot harder in this second term. They're getting a few good possessions, using the ball a lot better, running in numbers. And Johnny Klug has worked particularly hard at centre-half forward. A lot of good handballs to his teammates.
72 plays 21 with 7 minutes left in the quarter. Hawthorn get out of the centre through Hudson. Hand passes nicely to Condon, back to Hudson, who didn't stop running. Kick towards the full forward position. Dunstall tries to flip it out the back to Anderson. Smart goes back towards the boundary line. Bickley's kick is over on the full. And disappointing stuff there.
Well, a bit unlucky because Bickley just tried to go for the little soccer off the ground. It may have stuck in the mud, and he just got under it a bit.
Anderson with the football for Hawthorn, runs around the man on the mark, kicks for goal and kicks poorly. Goes out of bounds on the full, so the free kick to be taken back there for the Crows by Nigel Smart. And he kicks it high, lets the Breeze do a little bit of work there out towards half back. Getting through the pack was Filkey, gives the hand pass away to Kelly. Kelly's kick is a little ordinary. Tucker's read it beautifully. Jarman, Andrew, a little late on the scene. Mark taken there at half forward for Hawthorn by Mark Micken. turns around and eventually sees a player on his own in the centre of the ground, Darryl Smart, who started on the interchange bench, Darryl Hart rather. His hand pass goes to Wiedemann. Wiedemann's kick, he's very clever, Smart. He gets all the way up the ground and down the back, and he's all over the ground. But the Adelaide Crows up towards full forward. Here's a chance for McGuinness. Left foot shot by McGuinness. He's not bad. Tony may have popped it through. He has. Great goal by Tony McGuinness. The Adelaide Crows get their fourth. Hawthorn 10-12, Adelaide 4-3.
Yes, Tony McGuinness put that one down as a contender for goal of the day, because that was a magnificent kick from Tony McGuinness under heaps of pressure. You see McGuinness picking up the ball there, and Whitman almost had him on a very tight angle there, McGuinness, but able to get the ball to his boot, and an excellent snap at goal.
So the Crows fight back. 4 goals this quarter. 4-3, plays 10-12, under 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Micken tries to slap it out. Hart gets a quick kick down to the half-forward line. Filkey tried to push it on. Oh, late tackle on
Gee whiz.
Cooper.
Now, that was against Murphy. A very high tackle and a late tackle, as we see this again. Cooper gets a kick away, and here comes Murphy. And oh, gee, he was dealt with fairly severely there, Paul Cooper.
So down the ground it goes, and it could be a costly error. Dunstall front spot, no one waiting down. Wiedemann gives it back. It finishes with Tasker coming from Bickley. Goes to the outer side, finds McDermott. Has a look up towards the centre wing region, and a good note. Uncontested in the end, taken by Rod Jamieson. He's booted 1 goal this quarter, Jamieson. Kicks to half forward. Johnny Klug under great pressure. The ball spills free. It's socked off the ground by Michael Tuck. The race is on. Filkey could be first to it. He may leave it for McGuinness. He does, and he's claimed, ridden into the ground. The ball spills free once more.
Oh, that's terrific play by
Stealing it
Hawthorn.
magnificently was Jarman. He kicks short and finds Pritchard. Over the top he goes. Hall claimed, back to Pritchard. Anderson it was, in fact, back to Pritchard. Up to the half-forward line, and a good mark taken by Maynard.
Terrific stuff, Maynard.
Their defence has done very well, actually. Bickley, Smart, Maynard.
Tasker to Hart.
Very hard to keep Hawthorn out.
And he kicks towards John Klug, who takes the mark on 50 metres.
Sandy's made a little bit of difference. Darryl Hart.
And especially Tasker on playing on Tony Hall. He's played a great game.
In towards goal. And over the back for one behind. Dean Anderson is off Bernie. And the freak, James Morrissey, is on.
Yes, Jamie Morrissey obviously having a little bit of an inconsistent season. Can't hold his place in the team. It wouldn't be for the lack of skill. Langford kicks it in towards centre half back. No mark taken. Good punch to the back. Lawrence showing a bit of agility, but this time he's beaten for it by Micken. Falls over, gets the hand pass out to McDermott. In turn to Kelly. Kelly's pass is pretty good. He finds there Liptak. Liptak in turn shares it away with Darryl Hart. Darryl Hart kicks for goal and pops it through. The Adelaide Crows get their 5th goal.
Good fight back, Bernie.
Yeah, it's been great, Sandy, hasn't it? Could have been completely out of this game at half-time. However, they have given themselves some sort of a chance with a good second quarter. Didn't kick a goal in the first term. In fact, only one behind. Hart, who started off on the interchange bench, was brought on. And that's his first goal, but they've kicked 5 goals for the term. And Hawthorn have only been able to manage 2 goals, 1.
72 plays 34. Out of the centre. It's the Crows who get clear through Matthew Liptak. Towards the half-forward line. Socket off the ground by Andrew Collins. Michael Tuck on that outer side. Picks it up well. Kelly got front spot. Couldn't complete the mark. Bickley goes over the top. Jarman out even wider. Back to Bickley. They've really come back into this game. Platten, however, intercepts. John Platten goes over the top to Michael Tuck. Gee, he's been busy, Tuck. A high kick. Brereton and Micken, the 2 flyers. Pritchard shovels it out from the bottom of the pack. Condon is clear. Heads towards the 50-metre line, but Marshall is there, and he takes the mark. Gets the hand pass away to Nigel Smart, who ran off Jason Dunstall. Wide to the wing. Klug lumbers towards it. Oh, pick it up, Jonathan, and get a kick, and he does. Towards half forward. It wasn't a good one, however. Ben Allen has time to size up his options. He goes into the centre. Lawrence is lumbering there. His kick is not a good one, however. Tasker's kick goes back towards half forward. Abbott, a little tap down, trying to accommodate Cooper, who's recovered after that knock. Can't take it. McGuinness wants someone going past. Klug onto Jarman now. Platten. Jarman held and he'll take the free kick.
I'll tell you what, it was nearly a great tap on by Andrew Jarman. It went through Michael Tuck's legs, and I reckon he was an absolute certainty to intend that.
Off the packet comes to Abbott. Kicks towards Ben Allen. Doesn't get a good bounce. Jarman does get a good one. He wanted a little chip to McGuinness. Just a little too far for him, and he's caught. We'll find ourselves with a ball up.
Yes, the kick had to be precise to McGuinness. It was a very short kick. If it wasn't spot on, there was about 3 Hawthorn players set to pounce. Maybe a handball would have been better, you think, Robbo?
Well, it wasn't that far, was it? It was only about 5 or 6 metres, and even if he'd have taken it, it probably wouldn't have been awarded a mark. Klug takes the ball out of the air. Darren Jarman, Abbott. Abbott's kick is pretty ordinary. Picked off by Tasker. Tasker's kick towards full forward. That could have nearly been a free kick to Jamieson. Darren Jarman, was that a throw? Yes. Umpires picked it up.
Yes, no need for that. He had plenty of time to get the hand pass away. There's been a lot of doubtful hand passes throughout the season, and that one right in front of the umpire.
And Matthew Liptak has the football. He's already kicked one. It was a very good kick, his first goal. Let's see if he can repeat the dose. It's not bad. It's pretty good, as a matter of fact, and he's got his second. Well done, Matthew Liptak. Doing a pretty good job for the Adelaide Crows. Second goal is the Crows' 6th goal. 10-12 plays 6-4.
And a great quarter of football by the Crows, completely outplayed in the first term by Hawthorn. They've kicked 6 goals, 3 for the quarter, and Hawthorn have only been able to manage 2 goals, 1. And they've moved the ball particularly well into the forward line, worked hard. Their defenders have got on top of the Hawthorn forwards completely.
Bernie Liptak may be playing in the centre in Andrew Jarman's position, and he's doing a reasonable job. Allen, Marshall working overtime. McDermott, chance now for Liptak once again. Gets a kick across his left shoulder towards centre forward. Klug going back. No mark. Collins leaves it for Cooper. Cooper's kick across his body. Spots a player on the wing. Could have spotted 3. There was Condon, Ben Allen and Tuck. And eventually Ben Allen gets it. But the siren sounds to end the second term here at VFL Park. And Hawthorn lead by 32 points. The Hawks are 10-12. Adelaide are 6-4.
Here's a fine fight back by the Adelaide Crows in that quarter, with goals from Darryl Hart, Tony McGuinness, Michael Murphy, Matthew Liptak booted 2, and Rod Jamieson got 1. And at quarter time, when the Crows trailed by almost 60 points, one wondered just what was going to happen, but they, to their credit, have fought back and are still in this game.
And I think the key word there to be mentioned is character. That's what they've shown there.
They've cut the margin to just 32 points, repeating the half-time score here at the park. Hawthorn 10-12, 72. Adelaide a 6-4, 40.
Standing by.
David. Quickly.
Go on. Go on.
He's nervous, Mr. Parkin.
They'll kick about 8 goals, do they?
North are in front. North will win that. North are in front.
7 points in front.
I told you they would.
Game's not over yet.
Yes.
They've capitulated. They have capitulated, Carlton. How long have we got?
1 minute.
1 minute. Gobble at him.
Just time to get another mouthful or two.
When they do this. So intro, boys, and then set up Fitzroy and Clark.
30 seconds.
Oh, now that will be handy.
That's what I want the old Peter Mears.
Yes.
Or the Drew Morford.
Oh well, I throw to him, mate. You're a good lad.
10 seconds. Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Half time here at VFL Park, and a very good fight back by the Adelaide Crows. They still trail by 32 points, but at half time, Hawthorn 10-12-72, Adelaide a 6-4-40, and that's exactly, Bernie, what Graham Corns would have asked for at the first change.
Well, I think he was disappointed, as he said at quarter time. We heard from Max Stevens that he was particularly disappointed with that first quarter, as you would understand. But that second term, Robbo, they fought back and did all the hard things that he would have asked at the quarter time interval. Hawthorn certainly went out of it in that second quarter because of the excellent play of, I would think, Adelaide, the way they moved the ball into the forward line. Their defence has been sound. I've been particularly impressed with Smart. He's done a great job. Also Tasker, who's only allowed Hall about 2 possessions for the game.
I think Hart coming onto the ground, who started on the interchange bench, lifted, and Liptak going into the centre, Andrew Jarman going to the half-forward flank, were 2 very good moves made by Graham Corns.
Well, the Hawks are going to have the breeze in the third quarter, and they can shut the gate. So I would imagine the Crows, if they had a testing time in that second quarter, Bernie, they're going to be under just as much pressure in the third, aren't they?
Well, it seems to be the end. The main scoreboard, or the big scoreboard, is the end that most of the scoring is being done. And you would expect Hawthorn to come out all guns firing in this third quarter because, as I said, 6-3 to 2-1. They were completely outplayed in that second term by a rejuvenated Adelaide. And Hawthorn, I think, would be expecting to get a lot more out of their forwards. Maybe Dunstall. Hall, I think, has had a very disappointing game. He's been one player that, as I said, has hardly had a touch. Their running players were out of business in that term. Adelaide were able to find some space. The big bloke Micken has played particularly well in the ruck, and that's been a good duel between him and Lawrence.
Thank you, durable duo, if I could use that quote from Ian Robertson. Speaking of durability, well, if one club has done exactly that and shown those qualities, particularly in the past 12 months, it has been the Fitzroy Football Club. Haven't had a premiership for a long time, and they have looked as though at times they may have gone out of business, but they continue to fight. Let's now take a closer look at Fitzroy, the club.
In the early days of the VFL, Fitzroy was one of the most dominant teams in the competition. Of the club's 8 premierships, 4 were won in the first 7 years of the league's formation. And it wasn't surprising, given the club had such champions as Hayden Bunton, who won 3 Brownlow medals, and is considered one of the game's all-time greats. Fitzroy took out its 7th flag in 1922, but had to wait until 1944 for its next, the last premiership the club won. A decade after that achievement, the Lions recruited a youngster by the name of Kevin Murray, who, like Bunton, was one of the greatest players in the club's proud history. Murray started as a 16-year-old and went on to play a then record 333 games in a career which spanned from 1955 to 1974.
Murray won an incredible 9 Best and Fairest awards, including 5 on end from 1960, the first aged just 18. But the crowning glory of Murray's career was his Brownlow medal win in 1969, after 224 games. Murray took part in the September action only twice. One appearance was in this preliminary final against Collingwood in 1960. The Lions led by 8 points at the last change, but the Pies finished the better in the heavy conditions and moved into the grand final against Melbourne.
Seconds left to play, and Collingwood now go into the lead. 8 goals, 11 behind, 59 points. Fitzroy 8-10, 58.
While Fitzroy endured some tough times thereafter, one memorable performance was the 190-point annihilation of Melbourne in the highest score ever kicked. 36 goals, 22 behinds, a total of 238 points. Another interesting encounter was at the Junction Oval in 1971 against Carlton, when it was harder than normal to get a kick, mainly because the players couldn't see the ball in the fog.
The umpire come in and has given a free kick to Fitzroy.
Finals appearances were few and far between until 1979, when the Lions again reached the finals. They repeated that feat in the qualifying final in 1983, when they almost snatched the game from Hawthorn, thanks to a purple patch by spearhead Bernie Quinlan, who kicked 5 of the Lions' 7 goals in the final term. But the Hawks hung on to win by 4 points, and 3 weeks later they won the grand final by a massive 83 points against Essendon. In recent years, Fitzroy has struggled for existence, and this season a massive fundraising campaign looks set to ensure the Lions will continue in the competition. And let's hope they again rise to the heights the club set in its early years in the VFL. Welcome back. Well, like their brothers in Queensland and Western Australia, the New South Wales Football Association is struggling to come to grips after the formation of a league side. Of course, in New South Wales, I'm talking about the Sydney Swans. In the old days, the New South Wales League, they'd be getting crowds of around 14,000 for their grand finals, but that has dropped back considerably to some 2,000. But the league is starting to fight back and come to grips with the situation. Let's take more on that report of the New South Wales League with Cameron Williams.
No chasers, you on-ball players. If I see any of you walking back through the centre here again, you can come off. You're on the ball to be on the bloody ball.
Not quarter time at the SCG, but the boys at Sydney Uni are just as serious about their footy. One of 8 clubs in the Sydney Football League, Uni is typical of the strong AFL undercurrent in New South Wales.
The football in Sydney, especially at the SFL level, is going on very well. Shown in the state championship where they beat the River in the Football League.
Naturally, though, the Swans are the focus of the game in Sydney, the barometer of the AFL's expansion in a rugby league-dominated state. Recent draft changes have increased the local league's role in producing future players.
We need to have that grassroots football through the juniors and then stepping stones. And now with the under-19s being gone from the AFL structure, that the stepping stone from out of club football into the AFL system is going to be even harder. So we've got to really get our act together and work on the professionalism, presentation and the standard of the game.
And the game is growing. From Bondi to the bush, there are almost 30,000 registered players. And according to Craig Davis, who has seen a remarkable expansion of the code in the past 5 years, they're starting to play good quality football.
It's getting there. Their skill level's up. They attack the ball fiercely in Sydney and have their eyes only on the ball. Where probably 5 or 6 years ago they had their eyes on the player first and then the ball second.
For the future, Davis has his eyes on another State of Origin battle, following New South Wales' stirring win over Victoria last year.
Oh, there's always plans. The challenge is out there, and I hope this goes on air, because I wrote a letter to Alan Swob and Ted Whitten the other day. Anytime, anywhere, and under any rules, New South Wales will take on Victoria again, because we are the champions. We only good as your last game, and we won. And I hope people never forget that.
Yes, you won't need much to stir up Teddy Whitten when it comes to State of Origin football. And all you South Australians are only too well aware of that. Let's have a check now on the scores of other matches being played today. Melbourne has fought back and lead the West Coast Eagles. Djakovic is doing well. He's booted 5. The Demons 7, 7-4. The Eagles not good kicking for goal, 6-9. Carlton has been overtaken by North, who ran wild in the second quarter. The Roos 8-10 lead Carlton 8-3. And Footscray, again, superb kicking for goal. Brian Royal has booted 4. Footscray 8-1, 49, leading Collingwood 5-7, 37. A reminder, of course, that highlights of that clash between Melbourne and the West Coast Eagles coming up later on this afternoon, so I hope you can stay with us for that. Right now we'll take a break though and come back shortly here to VFL Park for the commencement of the game between the Adelaide Crows and the Hawks.
Hi, I'm Tony McGuinness from the Adelaide Crows and you're watching AFL Live on Channel 7.
Where's Mex? There he is. Of course, all the top basketball comes your way on 7. Coming up shortly, we've got the NBL All-Stars game. Wherever you may be viewing, just check your local guides as far as times are concerned. Likewise, with the Australian Touring Car Championships, it's round 8, and that's going to be conducted Sunday week at Lakeside. That's Sunday, July 14. Once again, check your local guides. Now, patiently waiting on the boundary line with both sides out on the ground, Max Stevens. Any luck getting into the rooms, Max?
Well, Sandy, Jared Healy last week taught me a great trick. You bring out a glass when you can't get in, just against the wall, and I heard Alan Joyce, well, not too happy with the way that that second quarter was fought out by the Hawthorn side. He reckons they lost the momentum and drive that they had in that first term, kicking only 2 goals, as you said in the commentary. Graham Corn's far more pleased with that term, but he wants that style of the play to continue for the second half. He told the team to use the centre corridor or the outer side of the ground. A pat on the back for young Matthew Liptak, kicking 2 when he moved into the centre. Also Sean Tasker and Wayne Wiedemann. Sean playing his second game, Wayne playing his first. Very happy with the way they're prepared to go in and have a dip.
Thank you, Max. Well, let's see if they can continue this comeback in the third quarter. 10-12 plays 6-4 as we get the quarter underway. Lawrence has a mighty run. Jarman held when he didn't have the football, and he'll take the free kick. Or will it be Anderson who'll take it? No, Jarman. Was quiet in the second quarter, Robbo.
A little bit. Liptak did a good job in the second quarter for the Crows.
Platten lost it. Hall at the bottom may have a second attempt at getting it out. He does towards Anderson or Hudson. Gives it to Hudson. Hudson another one to Condon. And 1 behind.
1 goal 3, Anthony Condon.
I've got him there for 1-4, Robbo. I think you might have missed one there.
Ricky Rush got that one from me.
Oh, okay.
It's all on the scoreboard anyway. Maynard got up high.
Gee, he's a great mark for his size, that player, Rod Maynard. A one-hander there.
Short to Marshall. They can get the first couple here. It'll certainly throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Down to the half-forward line, and
a lack of talk, Robbo. Is that what you're indicating? The 2 Adelaide players there. It fell between.
Down should have probably held the other bloke out, shouldn't he? And Klug could have come back and taken the mark safely.
That's right. The player behind is the one that should be doing all the talk.
Albert's gone out of bounds, so there will be a throw in. Abbott and Klug. Jarman at the back. Hudson also. And he's well tackled. The ball spills free, but they've still got the numbers. It's going to come back, however, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Jarman.
Again, they're fortunate, but this fellow, young Liptak, I think it was, no one there to help him out.
McGuinness. Looking to send the Crows inside 50. Tuck in front.
We had a great first half, Michael. Tuck, 14 kicks, 4 handballs and 6 marks for the first half of the match.
Got Langford on his own, who drifted down to the half-back line. Chris Langford's kick up towards centre wing. Oh, the freak of James Morrissey's away. Sweeping hand pass to Brereton. He's inside 50, stabs in towards goal and pops through the first one of the quarter for the Hawks. And it is Brereton's second. He kicked 1 in the first term. So Hawthorn 11-13, Adelaide 6-4.
And the way Morrissey took that mark, he ran on quickly. As we see this in replay, he didn't waste any time. Brereton doing the running. And when he didn't take that mark and wasn't involved in the contest, he immediately set off towards goal. And Dunstall didn't know whether to lead or go back or what to do, but it didn't matter because Dermott put it right through the middle.
Dermott Brereton and Rodney Maynard there in the picture. Micken doing the ruck work. McGuinness couldn't get through. McDermott doing a tackle. Tapped on by Condon. Hudson, who seems to have plenty of time. Abbott. Morrissey. Forced to kick eventually. Platten underneath it. And Platten marks about 40 metres from goal. So just sheer persistence by the Hawks. The ball finishing with their champion rover, Johnny Platten. Pretty reliable normally, Jay Platten, but on this occasion the ball just floating to the right and through for a behind. Platten has kicked 1 goal 1, 11-14 to 6-4, and Tasker now back there to kick the ball back into play for the Crows. Goes to the outer side, punched away from Smart by Ben Allen, picked off there by Wiedemann. Hand pass comes towards McDermott, he falls. Darren Jarman still has the football, dispossessed. Filkey could have been nearly in the back. No, umpire has called for a ball up.
Who's that McDermott with the heavy bandaging around the left hamstring or thigh area?
Throws the ball in the air, comes back towards Wiedemann, Morrissey, Marshall. Left foot kick by that player towards half forward. Chance for Murphy, overruns it. Abbott, Klug. Hand pass is not bad. Leaving it behind there was Liptak. Chance now for Filkey. Tackle by Tuck. Liptak still in there, working very hard, that young man.
Oh.
Andrew Jarman, was that a throw, Bernie?
Well, it looked like it to me, Robbo.
Lifted it in the air, and they're usually deemed as a throw. Jamieson, caught by Whitman. Murphy, pretty slow. Still got the football. Gets it out the back, Jamieson. They're trying very, very hard. Andrew Jarman's kick too far. Pritchard kick off the ground. Goes back to Platten. Kicks it quickly. Back in towards the centre, but the mark is taken there for the Crows by Tasker. Turns onto the left, then kicks with the right. Up towards centre half forward. High flyer Jamieson. Punched away by that strong Hawthorn defence. Kicked off the ground by Ben Allen. Ball goes close to the boundary line and eventually trickles over in front of Matthew Liptak. And we'll have a throw in left half forward for the Adelaide Crows. Matthew Liptak in the picture has kicked 2 goals. McDermott takes it out, gives it to Marshall. Marshall's kick towards half forward. Darryl Hart, Abbott there for Hawks. Tuck, high kick from a standing position. Wiedemann can't mark. Kicked by Marshall to centre half forward, and the mark is taken by Murphy.
Murphy kicks in towards full forward. Bit of pushing and shoving, it's gone unnoticed. Klug a chance, he too goes to ground, tries to get it out, but Platten is there. Now McGuinness working hard, loses it however, and it's Langford who takes it away for the Hawks. Chris Langford towards Ben Allen. Allen on the outer side. Sends it up towards half forward, he's looking for Brereton, he's got front spot. Starting to hit his straps, Dermot Brereton. And no one on Hudson at all. Paul Hudson has booted 2, 40 for the season. Goes long in towards full forward and hits the post. 2 goals, 1 to Paul Hudson out of 11-15. Mark taken by Bickley. Tasker doing the kicking in work. This is Wiedemann.
Good kick
to Klug. Now he's got the player running. Elected to go inside though to Jarman because he's on his own also. Jarman now towards the half forward line, and a good mark taken by Rod Jamieson.
That's a great mark by Jamieson, going back with the flight of the ball.
Kicked a goal in the second quarter.
I was just going to say then, he's probably just a fraction too far out to score, and it was a perfect opportunity for a smaller player to run past and for him to slip a handball out then.
Well, he looks like he fancies his chances though, Robbo.
A big kick, Bernie, from
it
there.
Is.
Let's see what he does. He's going into a slight breeze. He's kicking from 52 metres. He's gone for distance. Into the square it goes. Langford had front spot, and the ball is taken over the line in the left forward pocket. Chris Langford and Johnny Platten trying a little Houdini piece there that did not fool the umpire. So a throw in the pocket. Crows desperate for a score here. Klug gets it out. Filkey tries to barge through the pack, and he's lost the football.
It's wonderful tackle there by Michael Tuck, one of the best tacklers around. He doesn't look all that strong in the body, but
you can't really
muscle.
back yourself to get through a tackle.
No way.
Tucky, can you?
No way. He's all muscle, sinew and bone. Very hard player to get around.
Abbott gets a hurried kick. Doesn't gather a lot of distance. Jarman does it nicely. Finds Liptak. A high kick in towards full forward.
Oh, good mark.
Good mark taken by Jamieson again.
Just used the body terrific then to get his opponent out of the way. Jinky, was it? Yes.
He's a fine player, actually, Jamieson. He kicked the winning goal against Fitzroy in that controversial win in Adelaide. And usually a pretty reliable kick at goal.
And off to celebrate his 21st birthday. What can he do here? He's put it straight through the middle. Handy goal to the Crows. So Jamieson gets his second. And the Crows move to 7-4, trailing Hawthorn 11-15.
It's one of Adelaide's more reliable forwards. Jamieson, very consistent. A good kick at goal. He's kicked 23 goals for the season. He jumped early there and was just able to get the Hawthorn player out of position. By jumping early, he just jumped into the side a bit and put him off balance and took that good chest mark.
81 plays 46, just under 17 minutes remaining in this third quarter. The Crows unable to really close the gap, but sticking with Hawthorn. Jarman, a little bit of fancy work across to Jenke. And Whitman having a little bit of a howdy-do with Jarman in the background, and Jamieson.
And they've got to stop this because the Crows have got the football.
Well, it's still going on. There's as you can see, probably 8 players there.
Well, did you see what happened, Robbo? I was watching the flight of the ball.
According to Andrew Jarman, the way he's reacted, it must have been something that he's had to go at his brother then.
Just a bit of pushing and shoving. I don't think they'd really belt each other, would they? Surely not.
Well, he did.
It's a push out. Nevertheless, the Crows have the football and Hart has the mark inside 50, and it's on again.
And still on. And
they'll lose the ball if Andrew Jarman's got to get out of this.
Andrew Jarman not very happy at all. The emergency umpire now speaking to Andrew Jarman.
And the runner should go out and tell him to cool his head.
And here's that heavy tackle there by Andrew Collins on Darryl Hart, and we see here Andrew Jarman come in. He was actually grabbed by Collins and thrown to the ground.
Hart has the football. Kicking from 45. Drop punt. Drifts it away to the left. Just looking for that little bit of extra distance. One behind.
I think that tells you how strong that breeze is going to the right-hand end. Normally, even though the ground is a little heavy, the balls are difficult to get long distances with the kicks. He struggled.
Langford straight down the middle. Pinpoint accuracy by Chris Langford. Finding Darren Pritchard. Floating kick looking for Morrissey on centre wing. Filkey read it well in front of the pack. Morrissey wearing him like a glove and does well, the freak. Off to Condon. Bit of time, a little chip for Johnny Platten. It's on centre wing. Has a look inside, got a couple of options there. Lawrence was drifting past, but he chose Anderson. Dean Anderson heading towards the 50-metre line. Hall couldn't take the mark cleanly. A chance for Liptak to clear it out towards Jarman. Tucks on his hammer. Jarman gets the hand pass away. Liptak working hard. Off to McGuinness. Tony McGuinness, a little bit of room now. Floats it up towards the half-forward line. Langford at the back. Quick to recover. The ball shoveled clear. McGuinness again. Beaten for it. Over the top it goes. Anderson and Jarman both there. And the pair combine to get Hawthorn out of strife. Anderson, a bit of time as he goes to half-forward. Hudson in front. Wiedemann sees it over the line. And another throw-in.
Bit of urgency crept into the Adelaide Crows play since quarter time as they needed to. They're completely dominated by Hawthorn in that first term, but since then they've really fought back and putting their bodies on the line.
Wiedemann had nowhere to go. Hudson's handball. Brereton, short pass, pretty good. Dunstall on the lead in front of Smart. There was nothing that Nigel Smart could do about that. And Dunstall will shoot from about 30 metres out.
That's a situation where you cannot blame the full-back. He just had no chance whatsoever of cutting off that pass there from Dermot Brereton.
Jason Dunstall has kicked 2. Slips a little bit when he kicks it. Didn't seem to make much difference though. He looks back at the divot, but he's kicked the goal. So Dunstall 3 goals straight in the scoreline of 12-15 to 7-5.
Yes, and that's probably the difference, Hawthorn, with the players on that forward line who are capable of kicking goals. Dunstall has kicked 3. At the other end of the ground, McIntyre has kicked only the one behind. We've got the variety of players in attack who are capable of kicking a winning score.
601 goals now to Jason Dunstall as Platten sends the Hawks forward again. Down towards the half-forward line. Pritchard will soccer off the ground, trying to get it further downfield towards Brereton. Loses it. Wiedemann, strong work. And it's gone against the Adelaide Crows. Now, Jarman's being spoken to again, and they may have to do something here.
There's a player off the ball there too, very, very sore.
Here it is. Here's a free kick again. Brereton getting rid of that ball. And the free kick there obvious against Andrew Jarman for jumping into the back of Dermot Brereton after the ball had been knocked clear by Dermot.
So Brereton going for his third from 47 metres. Put it straight through. So the Hawks steady. Move to 13-15, 93. Adelaide a 7-5, 47.
Yes, that's a steadier, and as I said, Hawthorn with plenty of players. They're not relying on one or two players to kick the goals. They've had a variety of goal kickers. Dermot Brereton has kicked 3. Jason Dunstall's also kicked 3. And 6 other players, Hawthorn players, have kicked goals.
Bernie, if you were strong enough and coach of the Adelaide Crows, would you rip Andrew Jarman off the ground for that undisciplined act?
Well, I think he's too good a player to rip off the ground immediately, but I think harsh words need to be spoken to Jarman because his undisciplined play could cost them more goals if he doesn't settle down.
And here goes Hawthorn again. Anderson finds Brereton. Well, he's going to be kicking from just on 50, Dermot. Hudson gives him a lead. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's soft.
That is a soft free kick. We've had a go at Jarman about undisciplined play, but all he did there was apply hard pressure on Hudson, and he's entitled to be upset. Dermot Brereton just giving him a consoling pat on the shoulder as he walked past.
A nice stirring pat.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he felt that he was a bit harshly done by also.
Well, Hudson's booted 2. Tight angle. Drop punt. Oh, it's a lovely kick, but just off target, one behind.
He hasn't had his kicking boots on today, Sandy. 2 goals, 4.
Shot out to 2-4, has he?
Now, there's an Alec in every group, isn't there?
It's amazing. Tasker brings it back into play. Some pushing and shoving is let go. Ben Allen, in the meantime, picks it up. Kicks down to half-forward. And we'll see what he can do this time. Bernie, this could take him to 2-5.
Tell you what, I'd like to know who's supposed to be playing on him.
Well, he was named as a ruck rover.
I think he's playing half-forward flank and ruck rover, but whoever's on that half-back flank.
40 goals for the season to date. Paul Hudson. Better looking kick. Much better. So, Bernie, that's now 3-4, is it?
3-4, Sandy, correct.
3-4 out of 14-16. The Hawks hit the ton and they lead by 53 points.
And one of those kicks at goal hit the post from Paul Hudson. Hawthorn with 3 players who have kicked 3 goals. And plenty of players in that forward line capable of kicking 4 or 5 goals. Hall, the only player that has been quiet on the forward line.
That's it. Just interesting to watch where Paul Hudson starts, Bernie, and he actually runs from centre-half back to get into the contest. He starts on that defensive side of the square and then runs into the action.
Yes, and then works his way up into that forward line.
Well, he's now in there now. Well, there's no restrictions, of course, once the ball has been bounced to restart play from a goal. As many players as you like can get into the contest. Now Darryl Hart kicks the Crows out of the centre, but it doesn't go very far. Chance for Andrew Jarman. One must admire his tenacity. Just a little doubt over the discipline in the last 5 or 6 minutes since a crunch at half forward for Adelaide. And he put Andrew Collins down just a few minutes after that. Big punch there for Hawthorn by Lawrence. Picked off now by Anderson. In there is Bickley. Andrew Jarman to Wiedemann. Now David Marshall. Marshall's left foot kick. Whitman can't mark, but he goes in with desperation to try and retrieve his position. McDermott, Collins over the top, may have infringed against the Crows captain, and that's the way the umpire sees it. Chris McDermott has had a fairly quiet day. Kick into the pocket is pretty good. Marshall takes the mark about 45 metres from goal. And it really is a difficult shot because he's kicking straight into the wind as he attempts to get the Crows' 8th goal. 14-16 to 7-5. Short pass. Hart, what a good mark. Over the top of Cooper. And certainly Daryl Hart's a chance from here.
It's a bit of a dangerous short pass in the end, but Hart good enough to take that mark. Here's the pass from Marshall again. And 2 Hawthorn players, 3 Hawthorn players in fact there.
Daryl Hart, who's kicked 1 goal already from 25 metres out, he makes no mistake. So he's kicked his 2nd goal, and more importantly, the Crows get their 8th. They trail 8-5 to 14-16.
Well, they're hanging in there, Adelaide, without really making any impression, any real impression on Hawthorn's score. Here's the pass again from Marshall. As I said, a very dangerous pass. Hart good enough in the end to take that mark over Allen. But there were 3 Hawthorn players ready to swoop had Hart not taken that mark.
Daryl Hart in the picture. 2 goals to that player after starting on the interchange bench. Micken working in Trojan-like fashion. Desperate stuff, Wiedemann. Well done, young man. Bickley caught. Wiedemann, Anderson now. Allen running into an open goal. Allen goes long and kicks a magnificent Hawthorn goal. Very, very quick to answer, the Hawks.
Yes, Robbo, that's the support we were talking about earlier. I have the players who are prepared to run, and on the big ground that is very necessary. The Hawthorn players, when they get into any trouble, they seem to have 3 or 4 players running past who they're able to feed the ball out to. On that occasion, Allen was the player who finished it off, and he becomes the 9th Hawthorn player to score a goal.
The Hawks' quick answer. Just under 8.5 minutes remaining. Jarman applies a tackle which sees the ball spill free. Anderson tries to slam it wide, and he's successful towards Hudson. Wiedemann working hard. McGuinness almost legged but gets away. Off to McDermott. Back again to McGuinness. He can run all day, Tony McGuinness. To the half-forward line he goes. Langford comes out to meet it. Hart twists out of trouble and loses the football.
Yes, I think that was a very good tackle there by the player on the bottom of the pack there, Chris Whitman. And Hart just threw the ball away, so it's a free kick to Whitman.
Chris Daryl Hart's going nowhere.
He's just checking on his jumper.
He's not going to go anywhere.
Hey, where am I going? Where am I going?
Turn the lights on.
Which ground am I at?
Well, he's lost the jumper now. But it's Whitman who goes back to the centre. Michael Tuck. Off he goes in game number 417. Towards Hudson. In front. They've got the numbers. Towards Dunstall. Oh, Smart came over the top. Couldn't take the mark. Here's another one. If it sits for Tony Hall, will it sit? He's kicked it, I fear. He has. Tony Hall gets his first.
What's this? He's kicked it, I fear.
It was a wonderful snap.
It certainly was, but what was the fear in it, Sandy?
No fear whatsoever.
Gee, that was a
Look at it in replay.
Tremendous fly by Nigel Smart. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to drag that mark in. And Tony Hall, who's been very quiet, kicks his first goal.
Not a little bit of South Australia coming out there, was there, Alexander? 16-16 to 8-5. Hawthorn lead. Micken, Klug, over the top. Anderson gathers for Hawthorn. Brilliantly smothered by McGuinness. Darren Jarman in the action. Anderson still trying to force the ball clear. McGuinness is underneath it, and surely the umpire will have to call for a bounce. That crunch of players not going anywhere. Tony McGuinness. Lawrence, Tuck in the back, maybe Matthew Liptak, and the free kick will go to Michael Tuck.
He's had a good day, Robert.
Oh, he's played terrific. Michael Tuck's kick to half forward is pretty good. Hall marks. Been out of the game, but that goal may have lifted him. Condon's kick into the pocket, picked up by Pritchard. He handballs over the boundary line, and the umpire, the central umpire, gives the all clear for the boundary to throw it in. So no free kick there. 60 metres from the Hawthorn goal is Darren Pritchard. Now the ruckman getting position. Micken has done a pretty good job. Up till half-time he'd had 17 hit-outs. Pritchard, Condon, good smother by Filkey, and it's forced over for another boundary throw-in. Up till half-time, Mark Micken had 17 hit-outs, but I just got the impression that Lawrence had perhaps been a little bit more productive with play around the ground. But they've had a great battle, the two big fellows. There they are again. Lawrence with the height advantage, but Micken works very, very hard for his side. Little kick off the ground. Klug, sweeping hand pass. Andrew Jarman, another sweeping hand pass. He's not too popular with the Hawthorn supporters. McGuinness, who never stops running, kick it towards half forward, and a mark is taken back there by Whitman. No nonsense stuff from Chris Whitman. Just get the football, force it forward for your team, in towards the centre. Mark taken by Abbott, tries to feed it off to Collins, who's having a little fit of the fumbles, gets the handbars back. Lawrence, will the ball sit? Oh, it's clean bowled Michael Tuck. You wouldn't read about that. In goes Jarman again, and Tucky, well, has a look and probably says, no, he's apologising, but I think Michael Tuck may have put that one in his little record book. Had a quick look.
They messed around there, Hawthorn. Had about 3 or 4 chances to hand pass out of trouble and missed the target on every occasion.
McDermott, Andrew Jarman, McGuinness, back to Filkey, and the Adelaide Crows will get up towards centre half forward. Klug can't mark, tries to tap it to the advantage of Liptak, eventually goes back to Marshall. Marshall's left foot kick to full forward, and it's marked by Jenke.
Jenke a little bit of time, and Pritchard even more. Across to Jarman, to centre wing. A diving mark taken by Tony Hall. Drifts play into the centre. Lawrence is there, the big man from a standing start. Goes towards the 50-metre line. Brereton in front. Almost claimed it with one hand. Wiedemann gets the hand pass away. Kelly kicks up towards centre wing, and the mark taken by Jarman. He's got someone loose in the centre. It's Anderson. Dean Anderson sets sail for home. A long kick. Over the top it goes. Dunstall is there, but he goes to ground. Tries to shovel it out for Morrissey, who sockers it off the ground for a goal. That's why he's called the freak. Hawthorn 17-16, Adelaide are 8-5.
Well, a clever kick in the end by Morrissey, because there was a couple of Adelaide players in front of him, and he was able to lift that ball with the kick off the ground, as we see here. The Adelaide player, amazing how he was able to get that through without it being touched, Robbo. Or was it touched?
Well, with the oval ball, no, I don't think it was touched, but with the oval ball it can go anywhere, can't it?
118 plays 53, under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Finally out of the centre, Marshall tries to get it off to Wiedemann, who's well claimed. The ball spills free to Hart. McDermott onto Marshall. To Jarman. Gets his kick away, down towards the forward line. They want goals and they want them fast. Jamison. Jarman. This may bounce through. Towards the goal it goes. But there, right on the last line of defence, is Chris Whitman. Oh, it's on again behind play. Keep an eye on it, Bernie, as Whitman kicks in towards the centre. And the mark taken by Morrissey. Away he scoots. Any news, Bernie?
Yes, well, it was just a good shepherd by Andrew Collins, not appreciated by McIntyre, who caused all the trouble there.
Condon into the pocket, looking for Hudson. Oh, he does it beautifully. Bends one back with a check side, but not far enough, one behind. (17-17) plays 8-5. Hudson now, Bernie. Been keeping a close eye on his stats today.
3 goals, 5, Sandy, and included in that is 1 poster. He's kicked 3 points for this quarter.
Lawrence towards Allen. A short kick over the top. Platten a chance here. He's inside 50, Johnny Platten. Smart chasing, but has shepherded out of it. Platten from the pocket, centering kick, and it drifts over the line for another behind off the pack.
Good support there by Scott Lee, getting back to make it very difficult for Jason Dunstall to take that mark.
Got up a little gingerly too, Jason Dunstall. Kick in by Tasker finds Hart. He goes over the top to Smart. The kick out towards centre wing, and the mark is taken by Maynard. Marshall, McDermott, lovely hand pass, finds Daryl Hart, who's done pretty well. He's covered about 80 metres. The kick in towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Kick off the ground by Collins, missed it altogether. McGuinness tries to tap it to the advantage of Filkey. Here's an opportunity for McIntyre. Collins caught with the football. Pritchard, good smother there by Bartlett. Eventually Tuck gets his kick away, and the mark is taken by Hall. Handballs to Platten. Platten keeps play close to the boundary line. Could be picked off by Wiedemann. Hand pass is not bad to Andrew Jarman. Andrew Jarman's kick towards half forward, punched away there by Whitman. Opportunity for the Crows to get into attack through Lee. Lee's kick finds Jamison, and it is between wing and half forward. Rod Jamison's kick in towards the pocket. No mark to Klug. He may keep it in. He does. Handball. Chance now for Hart. The kick slews off the side, but it's in the front, and the mark is taken there for the Crows by McIntyre.
Yes, McIntyre, he hasn't done a bad job. He hasn't kicked a goal, but he's worked hard at full forward. He's led well. He's played on a very difficult and tough opponent in Chris Langford. Maybe fortunate to take the mark, but he was out in front. That kick slewing off the boot of Daryl Hart.
So a chance for McIntyre to get the Crows' 9th goal. He should get the distance. He does. And the accuracy looks pretty good as well. To goal. So well done, Peter McIntyre, to kick your first goal. The Crows go on to 9-5 at Hawthorn 17-18. The Hawks have kicked 7 goals, 6 in this quarter so far, and the Crows have kicked 3-1, which was exactly 3 goals more than they kicked in the first term, kicking into the breeze. So their efforts in this third quarter haven't been all that bad.
Back in the middle once more. Closing seconds of this third quarter. The margin is 61 points. Lawrence plucks it out of the air and kicks it high. Morrissey takes the mark, and look, his hand pass is a little too quick for his teammate. Bickley gets into all sorts of bother. The ball spills free, and Marshall on the lip tack. Caught. Gets it away towards Daryl Hart. Couldn't take it. Hart again as the siren sounds. It's three-quarter time here at VFL Park. Hawthorn holding sway in a commanding position. The Hawks 17-18. 120 lead Adelaide 9-5, 59.
There you are.
61 points is the margin here at VFL Park at three-quarter time. Hawthorn 17-18, 120. Adelaide 9-5, 59.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
A 7-goal, 6-quarter by Hawthorn Bernie, but the Crows weren't completely demoralised. Kicking into the breeze, they did kick 3 goals, 1.
No, Sandy, it's been a pretty good performance by Adelaide since quarter time. In fact, they were 58 points behind at the quarter time break, and now they're only 61 points. Not, I say only, they've only 2 points worse off at the three-quarter time break. So the second and third quarters, they've held their own.
Now let's check other matches being played. There's some tight ones going on here in round 16. Melbourne and the West Coast, less than a kick in it, 4 points favouring Melbourne. Carlton and North Melbourne, again 4 points in it. Carlton lead thanks to some straight kicking for goal. And the only time Bernie Quinlan doesn't go and give Footscray kicking lessons, look what they do. 11-1, magnificent kicking for goal, but they trail Collingwood 11-11. Down on the boundary line is Graham Corns just walking off, and also Maxie Stevens. Max?
Thanks very much, Sandy. Well, Graham Corns has told his play they've got to go harder. They've got to start to really push themselves at that ball. He said when you're under pressure, don't try to pick the ball up. The ground's pretty heavy. Just kick it forward, kick it off the ground. Now, the win's still probably worth about 2 goals here at Waverley, and Corns wants a lift. He's confident the Adelaide Crows is still a chance if they show the desperation they showed in the second quarter. And Matthew Kelly, a slight injury, and I'd be surprised if he takes any further part in the game.
Thank you, Max. Gee, he thinks they're a chance. They're down by 61 points.
Well,
he's an optimist.
Hawthorn only have to kick 2 and Adelaide have to kick 13.
Correct, Bernie.
That's very good arithmetic, isn't it?
What if they
Sandy?
kick 3? Do they have to kick 14?
14, Robbo. You've worked it out.
Very clever.
Well, we're just about set to go for this final quarter. Andrew Jarman, Matthew Liptak. Liptak's booted 2 goals and's had a pretty good day.
I think what Adelaide have got to look for now, Sandy, is to kick probably 6 goals to 1 and finish with, what, 15-18. And then it's not a bad performance on the scoreboard, even though they were totally outplayed in the first quarter. That was where they've lost the game.
Mind you, if they do that, they'll throw Bernie's mathematical equations right out the window.
Well, that's probably where they deserve to be.
Thank you.
So, here we go. Final quarter at VFL Park. 61 points the margin. Mickett charges at the football, but it's Platten who gets the first kick, a short kick, but only as far as Scott Lee. Lee's kick in turn towards Jarman. Not marked, Liptak's away, but then he slipped at the critical stage. Lawrence does well, the big man picking it up and kicking high. Maynard almost held it long enough. Lee goes in after it. Maynard the assist. Away comes McGuinness. Towards half forward. Clue smothered. Down he goes. Whitman gets the ball out, but it's straight to Fielke. He's under pressure. Backpedals a little. Looking for Bickley. Play on by Wiedemann. Inside 50 now. Can they take a mark? Yes, they can. Peter McIntyre has just the 1 goal. He booted that in the third quarter.
That was good use of the body there by McIntyre. He was just able to nudge Chris Langford under the ball and take a solid chest mark.
McIntyre from 40 metres, almost directly in front, and he has put that one through for a goal. So McIntyre gets his second, and Adelaide moved to 10-5.
Yes, a pretty good matchup there, McIntyre and Langford in size. McIntyre, in fact, 1 centimetre taller than Chris Langford at 194 centimetres. Look at that in replay again. He positioned his body very well, was able to manoeuvre Langford out of position.
I was just going to say it was an excellent kick by Wiedemann. He's summed it up pretty well and put it right in the front of the goals. (17-18 to 10-5). Early in the last quarter, Darren Jarman dispossessed by Liptak. Fielke, chance now for Bartlett. He taps it on. Jenkins out of position. McDermott could nearly get a free kick here. Maybe the advantage rule will count. Liptak with the left foot, kicks it to the front of the goals. Out comes McIntyre once again. Whitman, attempted kick off the ground by Hart, but it's caught up with Chris Langford. Can Chris Langford be penalised? No.
Yes, well, that was going through my mind at that stage, Robbo, because he kept it underneath him. He trapped it under. He made no attempt to knock it out. The umpires have gone in a different direction over the last 4 or 5 weeks, certainly on that rule.
Well, that's fair enough if they're consistent. Up over the top was Jenke. Klug never seems to get out of first gear, but gets it back to Bartlett, and eventually the mark is taken there by Collins. Collins runs away for the Hawks, kicks it back in towards the centre. Morrissey can't mark. Here comes Lee. Handball McDermott. Back to Lee, was a little too fierce. Klug, sweeping hand pass out towards the 50-metre line. McGuinness kicks across his shoulder in towards the goal front. McIntyre held by Langford, surely.
Yeah, free kick.
McIntyre will take the free kick.
In the back or held, Robbo, didn't make much difference. And still, Jarman,
Andrew, get out of it.
Jarman having a little bit to say to Chris Whitman. We'll look at this in replay. We can see the free kick. He's dragged off the ball there and definitely in the back of the end against Chris Langford.
Now McIntyre has the opportunity to become the leading Adelaide Crows goal scorer for the afternoon. Oh, he's hooked the kick. Has it come back? No, it hasn't. And he misses from only 25 metres out. 10-6 to 17-18.
Crowd today of 21,715 in attendance as Michael Tuck, vintage Michael Tuck.
Hasn't he played well today, Robbo? Almost best on the ground, I'd say, Michael Tuck in his 417th game.
Transfers play towards centre wing. Oh, Brereton gave one. May have copped one as well. It was very quick, actually, by Dermy. Platten. Again, Brereton, short kick. Trying to push it down towards Pritchard. He does it beautifully onto Allen. They've got the runners now. Dean Anderson, almost down to the 50-metre line. Just goes short to Hudson, who can run on here, Paul Hudson. He steadies, shoots it towards goal and threads it through. Well, they can reply just so quickly, Bernie, can't they?
Well, they've got the players on that forward line, Sandy. If they get the ball down there, as we look at the list of players who have kicked goals, and multiple goals at that, Hudson's kicked 4, Brereton's kicked 3, Dunstall's kicked 3, and there's about 9 other Hawthorn players also have kicked goals. But they have plenty of ability in this side. They're not relying, as I said earlier, on 1 or 2 players, and they're right back in contention for the premiership this year.
Again, the margin out to 60 points from the middle. Hudson on to Platten. He gets clear, Johnny Platten to half forward. No mark taken. Tasker under pressure. A short kick. Now Smart working hard. Players locked together. Brereton over the top. McDermott overseeing to make sure that everything is above board. Dermy says to Nigel Smart, top off.
He is a real character, Brereton, isn't he?
Yes, he's one of the game's great personalities.
Tap out by Micken. Wiedemann has the football. He's going to get caught. Gets his kick away. A little risk. Allen and Marshall. Marshall does pretty well. The kick off the ground, rebounds. Here's Tuck again. Marshall slips over. Could have nearly left it for Andrew Jarman. Now McDermott goes to Andrew Jarman. And Andrew Jarman's kicked the centre half forward. No mark taken. Picked off by Liptak. Handball goes back towards the centre. Filkey has the football. Kicks with the left foot. Up towards Klug. But chipping in to take the mark is Andrew Collins. Ever reliable in that back pocket for the Hawks. Short pass is okay. He finds Jenke. Jenke goes to Whitman. Whitman in the centre of the ground. After one bounce, assesses the situation and passes the ball beautifully to Hudson just inside 50. Good kick. Looks for Pritchard. Getting back was Lee. Chance for Brereton. Too severe was the tackle by Bickley. Kick off the ground came from Morrissey, was it?
A freak. Morrissey again.
Well, James Morrissey gets his second goal from another kick off the ground, and it really is unbelievable.
Yes, Morrissey, 2 goals for the day, both coming from quick kicks off the goal, quick kicks off the ground. And as I was saying at 3/4 time, Sandy, Those 2 goals that I thought Hawthorn might kick now means that Adelaide still have to kick 12 goals to win.
He loves pushing a point home, doesn't he, eh? The mathematician extraordinaire from Terrelgan.
So 132 plays 66. We go back for the centre bounce again. McGuinness claimed by Platt. McDermott can't get out of the middle. Eventually Micken gets a hurried kick down towards half forward. The bounce is not good for the Crows. Tuck at the back. See if he'll come off the ground saying, if I can play like this for another 5 years, I can knock 500 or 600 games.
Sandy, 21 kicks to Michael Tuck, 5 handballs and 9 marks.
Almost the best on ground performance, isn't it? Marvellous. Back to the centre of the ground. Jarman and Pritchard combine. Lightning hand pass by Jarman. Pritchard goes towards Hudson. Ripped off the football. It spills free. Wiedemann gets it off to his skipper, McDermott, who goes towards Tasker. Hurried one to Filkey, another one to Jarman. Short to Hart. Off to Liptak. Goes into the open goal, Matthew Liptak, and misses. One behind only.
Wasn't a bad build-up there by Adelaide. It was a pity that he missed in the finish.
Yes, it deserved a better result. Langford. Micken had his name written all over that. Mark Micken hasn't had a major influence on this game around the ground today. Pritchard, look the way they linked. Langford pulled off the football when he didn't have it and must take the free kick.
Actually, it wasn't a bad effort by Filkey to smother the hand pass, but then grabbed hold of his arm and pulled him away from it. It was pretty obvious in the finish.
So Chris Langford's almost down to the half-back line. Drifts it towards centre wing. Oh, Johnny Platten came over the top.
Has he been paid the mark or the man in front, Sandy?
Oh, no, Platts wants it.
Platts wants it, but the man in front, Tony Hall, 2 hands to the ball. Obviously a mark to Tony Hall.
Oh, yes, Bernie. That's why Platten's got it.
But did Platten get the kick?
Yes,
I can't believe
Watch
it.
the game, son.
Well, it was a mark to Hall.
Of course it was.
That's why Platten took it. Lee's kick. Back towards the half-back line. Collins to Tuck. Taps it wide to Pritchard. Chasing his Filkey, goes over the top, wants Whitman, but Jarman is there to intercept. Now, what's the whistle sounded for here?
Sandy, I just want to know what's happened to the man in front with that mark to Platten, because Hall had these hands equally as much as Platten and brought it to the ground.
Lawrence, you lost Bernie, that's the bottom line. Almost to the 50-metre line for the Hawks. Bickley throws it out to McGuinness. Hurried high kick in towards the centre. Tap down towards Jarman. Very, very quick to move the ball on. Lawrence does well. The big man shows agility. Looks for Hudson. Great use of the body by Paul Hudson. Ball to ground once. He's 52 metres out from goal. He sets sail for home and looks for Dunstall. At the back. Throws it away, however. It's taken by Tony McGuinness. He's got Jarman on the outer side. And together, they get the Crows out of trouble.
Andrew Jarman's short kick is pretty good. And the mark is taken by Filkey. And Michael Tuck just rides him into the ground to waste those precious few seconds for his teammates and enable them to get back to where Filkey is going to kick the football. Filkey's kick is marked by Klug laconically onto the left foot, up towards full forward. McIntyre may even kick this off the ground. No, collects it, kicks it with the left foot. Is it going to bounce? Oh, it's the post. You wouldn't believe that, would you? Peter McIntyre, 2 goals, 3. And that leg spinner kept coming back, and I couldn't even ride it through in the finish. Chris Langford now to kick the ball back into play.
Goes straight down the middle. Liptak stabs it to the half-forward line to McDermott. Got a loose player down in that forward zone. And Robbo, it's Darryl Hart as he sets sail for goal and puts it through. So Hart gets his 3rd and Adelaide's 11th. They're 11-8, trailing Hawthorn 19-18.
Yes, Darryl Hart started the game on the interchange bench as Michael Murphy comes back onto the ground. There's the lead up to this goal from Darryl Hart. A good little chip pass there by McDermott. They moved the ball on very quickly, found space on the forward line, as you can do here in at VFL Park.
.132 plays 74, just under 15 minutes remaining in this final quarter. The Hawks well in control, but the Crows really battling it out to the end. Here's Darryl Hart again, just goal. Jarman rides the bump, gets it off to McDermott. Another one to Micken. Goes with a left foot kick up towards the half-forward line. Inside 50, McGuinness waiting down. Quickly claimed, however. Some real desperation still in that Hawthorn defence. Off hands it comes towards Murphy, who snaps in towards goal and has kicked it. Michael Murphy has kicked his second. He booted one in the second term. And so some respectability creeping now onto the scoreboard for the Crows. They move to 12-8, trailing Hawthorn 19-18.
Just back onto the ground, Michael Murphy from the interchange. And a quick snap at goal there on the right boot. 2 goals to Murphy. Very lively forward for the Adelaide Crows.
So the bounce about to take place back in the centre. There's Mark Micken up against Lawrence. We're halfway through. Micken gets the tap out. McDermott shares it away with Hart. What's happened here?
A holding decision.
Gee, they were away with the football, weren't they?
They certainly were into attack had that free kick not been paid.
It was paid to Jenke.
Gee, he's played well. Tasker, he's worn Tony Hall like a glove. He just has given him no room whatsoever.
Morrissey worries him out of it on this occasion. Left foot kick by Morrissey to full forward. That's nearly a mark.
It is a mark, Robbo.
Nigel Smart, he doesn't mess around though. Nigel Smart, he kicks it towards centre wing. Marshall marks. Crows mounting something once again. Kick it towards half forward to Marcus, taken by Jamison.
Oh, ridden into the ground.
And again ridden into the ground. And I think that there should be a 50-metre penalty.
Well, there's 2 rules that they've gone soft on over the last couple of weeks. That's a 50-metre penalty, and the other one is when the player is caught with the ball underneath him. And that one, I think, warranted a 50 metres because Collins certainly rode him into the ground.
Well, pushed him down, didn't he? Made him actually hit the dirt,
yes,
which stops him from moving the football on at his leisure. The mark is taken by Jenke in the back pocket, and he kicks it back towards half-back. Micken nearly marks the ball with Jamison. Kluge, you can hear the call, in towards the forward pocket. Hart, off to McGuinness. Can McGuinness pop it through? Kicks it into the opposite pocket. Oh, well, would the goal umpire have known whether that went through for a point or out of bounds? Well, one wonders. It's out of bounds on the full, so the free kick to be taken in the back pocket for the Hawthorn team by Chris Langford.
Do you think he might need a spell in the country as well, Robbo?
No, not necessarily.
There's about 3 last week.
Well, he was looking behind the goalpost, that's all I thought. And then when the kick floated across, it was very difficult for him to tell whether it had gone through, I thought.
Certainly.
The kick goes out towards half-back. At the back, there is Bickley. Kick across his left shoulder's not bad. Tap on by McGuinness. At centre-half forward. Keeping his footing, his lip tack. Tries to get it back to McGuinness. Look at that little terrier go. The pass is not bad either. And Jamison marks, I would think, well within scoring distance for this man. He's kicked 2. So he could become, with this kick, the equal leading goal scorer with Darryl Hart. He's got good distance and he's got great accuracy. So Rodney Jamison has kicked 3. Darryl Hart has kicked 3. Murphy, McIntyre and Liptak have kicked 2 each for the Crows.
And Jamison, look at this kick right on the 50-metre line. It's a beautiful kick of the football. And kicked that goal under pressure against Fitzroy to win the game for Adelaide.
In fact,
you would back him almost on every occasion, I would think, Sandy, within 50 metres.
Just over 12 minutes remaining. 132 plays 86. Mark Micken at it again in the centre. So too is Jarman at the bottom of the pack. Gets it out. Bounces off tuck. Back with Jarman again. Finds McDermott. High kick towards the half-forward line. Almost pulled off the football, but working hard was Collins, eventually getting it to Dean Anderson. His kick is high. Hawthorn have the players there, but perhaps Lawrence shouldn't have taken it.
Gee, that's in the back too to Tony McGuinness against Ben Allen.
Certainly.
So they had 4 players there. They could have I now had this ball deep down in the forward line. Instead, the Crows have a chance of going deep into attack through McGuinness. He kicks to half forward. Clue gets the handball away. Ball spills free. It's socket off the ground by Collins, and he gains valuable metres, almost down to centre wing, in fact. Working hard is Bickley. Pushed wide. Tony Hall on to Morrissey. James Morrissey, a little stab, finds Condon.
Madigan on the ground, playing at centre-half back. Abbott to the interchange bench.
Oh, Marshall comes over the top of Ben Allen and takes a screamer.
Oh, he's not...
he's lost it.
Garbage. Oh, no, come on.
Well, look at this again, Bernie.
It's a mark, no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. It was good play by Marshall. You're allowed to jump early. If you take the mark, it's a mark.
It's going to result in a goal to Hawthorn. Kicked by Platten. Incredible.
Bernie, what did happen, we did see the slow-mo replay, and I know it's being over-technical, but as he jumped, his right arm actually hit the other player in the head.
Yeah. You don't have to demonstrate on me, Robbo.
Well, just to emphasise the point, I thought I'd show you.
Thank you.
Colourful stuff here in the commentary box. Hawthorn get their 20th goal. Jay Platten has kicked 2. There's Stephen Lawrence having a well-earned rest. And the Hawthorn camp pretty pleased with themselves. 20-18 to 13-8. Abbott now in the ruck. The kick comes towards half forward. It's picked off there by Wiedemann. Wiedemann's kick back towards centre half forward. Back there is Collins. Ball comes back in towards the centre. Abbott looking very much out of condition. Andrew Jarman. McGuinness. Back goes to Micken. Tuck. Allen. Kick by Allen has been marked by Brereton. Handball over the top. Hudson always seems to have plenty of space, a la Huey Mitchell in the old days. And the kick in towards the forward pocket has been marked by Dunstall.
There's good positional kick there by Paul Hudson. Dunstall has been fairly well held. 3 goals out of 20.
That was a Dunstall mark of old, though, wasn't it?
Yes, out in front, a strong hands. He's got a big body, Jason Dunstall. Strong hips.
Dunstall from only 30 metres out and just pulls the kick a little bit, and it's through for A.B. High.
He's come up against a good player, though. Smart did very well on him in that first game over in Adelaide. And also today, to keep him to 3 goals is a good performance.
Tasker brings it back into play. Coming grandstand side. Good effort to mark by Smart. Would have almost been paid.
I would have paid it, Sandy. Good effort there by Smart.
Marshall. Hasn't been the same dominant David Marshall today as he has been on a number of occasions. That's a clever piece of work by Ben Allen.
How good was that?
Well, our statistician's name is Diego, and perhaps he's related to him.
Centimetre perfect.
It was a fantastic kick off the ground by Ben Allen.
So a throw-in. Hawthorn's half-forward flank. Morrissey goes for a roundhouse right. David Marshall, handball away, but Morrissey's still persisting. Wiedemann over the top of him, Marshall over the top of him. And we'll find ourselves with another bounce.
Look how heavy that ground is there, Sandy, too. Big.
It is on either side in that area, isn't it, Bernie, on the wings?
Yeah, a lot of water laying near the races of either side.
Wiedemann. Whitman. Pritchard. Hudson still going. Oh, his hand pass is intercepted, however. McGuinness takes it away. They're going nowhere fast, however, the Crows. The ball is locked on that 50-metre line, and we find ourselves with another bounce.
Was the glass broken in the Adelaide Crows?
Well, by the look of that shot we just took, the glass was broken, as you can see there, and there has been a suggestion that someone's fist went through it.
Gee, that's a mess.
Jarman. Sending Hawthorn deep into attack. It's a high kick. Dunstall and Smart are there. Dunstall got a hand to it. Morrissey quickly claimed. He does tap it on to Hudson, however. Hudson back towards Platten. He's surrounded. Gets rid of the football. Back to Pritchard, who's 40 metres out. The tackling is still good by the Crows. Hudson gives it away to Dunstall, who has met very, very solidly. And one behind is the end result.
And the player doing the bumping again was Andrew Jarman. And I think his game has been affected by all of that. He just hasn't been the same productive player that he's been in other games that we've seen him play.
Tasker. Micken the target. Got a hand to it, but couldn't complete the grab. Anderson loses it to Jarman. He still goes on with the business. Liptak is the link man. On to McDermott, who bounces his way up to half forward, and then from 60 metres lets fly with a long kick goalwards, and it is hammered over the line by Chris Langford for one behind. 13-9 plays 20-20 with just under 7 minutes remaining.
If only McDermott could have been able to touch it on the ground once more, he would have got the distance.
Whitman short to Abbott.
Abbott is at centre half back, goes back to Whitman. Whitman's short pass in towards the centres, marked by Tuck. Tuck kicks it over the centre, out towards half forward. Great hands, Tony Hall. Handballs away to Darren Jarman. Liptak the chaser, but Jarman with skill. Left foot kick is good. Brereton marks in front of Maynard. They've had a good battle. Rodney Maynard has been a reasonable player, but Brereton has kicked three. Just shams the attempt there at shooting for goal. Shares it with Jenke, and Jenke gets the goal. So well done, Brereton, giving the indication to the players up the field that he was going to go with a big bomb. And the short kick gave Jenke the opportunity to kick his first goal.
Well done by both players there, because Dermot Brereton, the experience and team play showing through there, and Jenke, good play also running up from the half-back line, creating another option, and that's what it's all about. Options on that forward line. And Jenke, playing across the half-back line, was prepared to do the run and run into that forward line and get the kick from Dermot Brereton.
146 plays 87, a margin of 59 points. Micken gets a favourable bounce out of the centre, but it's Pritchard who gives it away to Michael Tuck. Another kick by Tuck down towards the half-forward line. Hall and Tasker. Well, Hall's hand pass is going to be eventually taken by Tasker towards the Crows' 50-metre line. Free kick going the way of the Crows. There's some pushing there.
I thought Collins was actually dragged off the ball there, Sandy. But going the other way. Let's have a look again in replay. No, a little bit of a push maybe, but gee, I would have maybe have let that go.
Jamison, who's going to be kicking from just outside 50. He's booted 3 goals. And a good long penetrating kick. That's a lovely kick off the hands of the pack and through for one behind. So that's his first blemish, is it, Robbo?
Well, actually, it's interesting. Would you give that behind to Rodney Jamison,
I think
or
I
would you give it to Ricky Rusht?
No, it was a lovely kick. I'd give it to him. It's his first blemish?
Certainly.
Yep. Anderson. Just chipping short to Paul Abbott. Got the players running past, and this is where they start their charge from the back pocket so quickly up towards half forward, towards Brereton territory, this time over the line.
The reason I mentioned about Maynard is that because Hawthorn have kicked 21-20, the ball has been up on that forward line a fair bit, and he's had a lot to contend with, hasn't he, with Dermot?
Yep.
And he's done a pretty good job. He's stuck to his job manfully.
Throw in. Brereton went through strongly but lost the football. Anderson and Jarman. Anderson first to it, trying to get it away to Abbott. Look at Jarman, still working very hard for the Crows, and he piles on in there.
That's crazy.
Well, he's worked hard and he's tried to lift his side. That's the main thing, Robbo, and you know, he's provided some sort of spark.
I know what you're getting at, but anyway.
Well, it's on centre wing. Micken has to flick it out the back door. Call of freak for Morrison, but it's Marshall who hammers it down towards Liptak. Oh, his hand pass is beautifully smothered by Whitman, who kicks up towards Brereton and Maynard. Some holding on going on there. It's gone against Dermot Brereton, and Maynard will take it at half back. Again, goes towards the wing. McGuinness doing the roving work and doing it nicely towards David Marshall. Hammers in towards half forward, didn't really look when he would kick that ball, and Andy Collins holds up yet another attack.
Yeah, when you're in the clear like David Marshall was then, to give it off to the opposition was really a minor crime.
Brother to brother.
Free kick going to Darren Jarman. Just backward of the centre. Kicks it high in towards the centre. The mark is taken there by Madigan. Madigan kicking towards the left forward pocket. No mark to Dunstall. In comes Hall. Forced to kick with that left foot. Tony Hall's kick is not bad. It may even be a goal. I think it is. Great kick by Tony Hall. It's his second goal, and it certainly was a miraculous one from that left forward pocket.
A terrific kick there by Tony Hall. He's had a quiet day. His opponent, Sean Tasker, has been well on top. He's been a terrific defender, Tasker, but Hall getting away there just shows his skill, kicking on the left foot, and Dermot Burden also doing well in the goal square to shepherd that one through.
Centre bounce once again. McDermott gets it out towards Filkey. Down to half forward, Barrett.
That's what I like to see Dermot do, get on the lead. He's been a bit stationary today.
They've got loose players here. Look at Anderson, Bernie. Now, can he thread that through? Yes, he can. Great goal by Dean Anderson, and the Hawkers are happy.
There's 2 goals to Dean Anderson. 23-20. Plays 13-10. Dermot Burton on the lead. As I said, good to see him moving and leading to the ball, because it gives Maynard no chance if he's caught behind. He has tried to outbody Maynard on several occasions. And now that's 12 Hawthorn players to score goals here at the park.
The ball back in the centre with 2.5 minutes left. Hawthorn 158. Crows are 88. Ball to centre half forward for Hawthorn. Punched away. Morrissey's handball. Looks for Platten. In comes Wiedemann. McDermott. Little throw. Seen by the umpire. Free kick will go to Hawthorn, to be taken there by Anderson. Anderson never stops running all day. Kicking towards the half forward area. Tasker's there. So is Smart. Handball over the top. Condon's the first back. He's outnumbered. That's good play there by the Crows. And Bickley will get the free kick. It is awarded against Condon. Now Bickley between the back pocket and half-back flank. Long kick towards centre wing. High flyers required. In front was Klug. Kick back by Morrissey. Good pick up by Filkey. And the kick back in towards the centre has been marked by Marshall. Now let's see if he can do a little better than he did with the last one. The kick towards half forward. Mark is taken by Murphy. Murphy from 50 metres. Kicks it long. But just offline to the left. And through for a behind to the Adelaide side. 2 goals, 2 to Michael Murphy. 13-11 plays 23-20. And earlier in the season, the Adelaide Crows kicked 24-11 to Hawthorn's 9-15. So nearly the scores in reverse here at VFL Park. The Crows have kicked a few more goals than Hawthorn managed in that first game. Madigan shares it with Tuck. Tuck coming up for possession, number umpteen. Kicks it towards centre half forward. Out comes Smart. Big punch from behind. Great play. Bickley's there to help him out. Left foot kick into the centre has been marked by Darryl Hart. Hart now with the right foot. Short pass is okay. Mark to McDermott. Goes back to Hart. Hart on the left foot. Short pass. Jamieson marks. Good play around the centre of the field there by Darryl Hart. Jamieson has kicked 3. So the chance to become the leading goal scorer for the day for the Adelaide Crows. And a good pass in the finish by Darryl Hart.
Yeah, it certainly was, Robbo. 3 goals to Jamieson. He's been a good player, a very busy player on the Adelaide forward line.
But Jamieson won't have any trouble with the distance and doesn't have any trouble whatsoever with the accuracy. 4 goals. And there's the siren. So it's all over here at VFL Park. Hawthorn have run out comfortable winners. They've kicked 23 goals, 158. And Adelaide 14-11, 95. So that's a victory of 63 points for the Hawks.
And remembering, of course, they were beaten by 86 points in that opening round. So a turnaround of some 149 points in the 2 games. So Hawthorn now make it 4 wins in a row. And the Adelaide Crows, who started the day in 9th position, have got some important matches ahead of them and a good closing run at home at Football Park. Games that they must win if they're going to have any chance of figuring in the finals in their first year in the AFL.
Well, I think that's virtually blown their chances, Sandy, because some of those home games have got one against Sydney, but then they've got Essendon, West Coast Eagles, and also St Kilda at home. So they're 3 tough matches.
Well, they did have Hawthorn at home too, and they hammered them.
Agreed. I'm just pointing out that there's 3 sides above them on the ladder, and they won't be easy games to win.
Well, all that lies ahead. Just repeating the final scoreline here at VFL Park. Hawthorn 23-20, 158, 63-point victors over Adelaide, 14-11, 95.
Yes? No. Ridiculous.
I'll fix that.
Hey, I've picked 4 winners.
Have you?
Four. Warmed up over the light.
Robbo will throw, as we said before, and he's going to say something along the line, like they'll do the summary, and then Robbo will have an earpiece in, you can tell him to throw. Sandy normally introduces players of the month, but if I'm right, I think that's what he's working on right now. And Robbo will do it after the summary and when you tell him to throw to plays of the month. Now, Sports World promo's out. Straight on by quarters into them. Now, Rocky, do we have highlights? Right. Do we have stats? Right. No. So we just throw, we'll do that and then you throw to plays of the month. Gish dumb. I won't hold our breath from you. Itchy breast. You know, don't you? Sandy normally introduces players of the month. But if I'm right, I think that's what he's working on right now. A little bit of creativity here.
30 seconds.
Stand by. Now, I want a really good summary here, Bernie.
Okay. 4 winners I've picked in the local fruit shop picking.
There are no highlights, lad, so we want you to talk, contribute.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Here's the final scoreline at VFL Park this afternoon. Hawthorn successful 23-20, 158. 63-point winners over Adelaide, 14-11-95. Bernie, really looking at that scoreboard, the damage was done in that first quarter, wasn't it, when they opened up almost a 10-goal lead?
Exactly, Sandy. Apart from that first quarter, Adelaide really held their own for the remaining 3 quarters. They were 58 points down at quarter time, and after that, Robbo, I thought they worked particularly hard. Their defence worked well. I was very impressed with Tasker. Smart at full-back, playing on Dunstall was very good. And also on that forward line, the player that I liked was Rodney Jamieson, the way he kicked goals, and also Liptak, when he went to the centre of the ground, I thought played very well.
Yeah, well,
back into the match.
I think what they've got to do, they've just got to learn that the game of football goes from the first bounce till the finish. And that if they can have a good look at that film, the film of this match, surely the first quarter where they were feeble, their first quarter really was a feeble effort. Granted, they kicked against the breeze, but they did not man up and they didn't make it hard enough. Hawthorn kicked too many easy goals in the first term.
Yeah, well, the scoreboard indicates that. There was 19 shots to 1 in the first term, Robbo, and that's just not good enough, you know. Often games are won in that first quarter where it's also very important to get an early advantage over your opponent, and that's what Hawthorn did. Adelaide fought their way back to their credit, but they were never going to win the match because the deficit was just too great to get back into it.
Gentlemen, do you think it makes any difference when they're playing at home, they're playing in front of a crowd of maybe 35, 40,000 fans, all of them, bar none, are Crows supporters, and then to come over here, first of all the travel, and then to come over here to, I guess, what they would consider very little support in the crowd, it must have a psychological effect on them, would it not?
Well, I think you've got to take your hat off to the Eagles, Sandy, and it probably is a learning process. The Eagles are able to do that now after, 5 years? And the Adelaide Crows are really a fledgling team and they've got a lot to learn. But it'll come in time. It has to, because they're not going to have great support here. And the Victorian teams, in turn, haven't got a lot of support over in Adelaide. So the plays of the month. Sandy usually introduces this segment, but I've got a bit of funny feeling that he might be working on that right now. Let's have a look.
And of course, all that action coming your way on 7 Sport. Yeah, come in. Plays of the month. Yes, come on, we'll do them now.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. So I moseyed on down to the Moorabbin room, Sandy. I was knocking on heaven's door.
Jared, in the words of Don Scott, you're unbelievable. And what about the spectators' reaction? You know the old saying, Jared, don't give up your day job. Mind you, strange things do happen in football. What about when Kevin Sheedy resorted to sending smoke signals to his players at Windy Hill? And talk about modern day football, some coaches don't even mind if their taggers take to the field in their street clothes. Not that this young couple would have noticed what was going on out on the ground anyway. Which is a shame they didn't, because they would have witnessed Brett Allison flying high over Gavin Krosiska to take one of the all-time grabs. And what about this little conversation in Perth? What's that I've kicked now, Michael? I think it's 13. Gee, it's going to be a long trip back to Melbourne, Peter. Yes, I hope you're not the in-flight comedian. Darren Baxter had his problems during the last month. Now, first of all, we'll have to move that chair. Golly, I think I've hit the umbrella too. While Carlton's Luke O'Sullivan was a little less tactful towards this stills photographer. Supporter of the month goes to this gentleman at the SCG. We don't know who it is you're barracking for, sir, but we admire your enthusiasm and your kicking style. To the surprise goal of June, and Peter Foster kicking from 50 metres clearly misses to the left. Don't look too depressed, Pete. The goal umpire thinks it's a goal. And Anthony Danaher cannot believe it. Ah, yes, an umpire's life isn't easy. A ball up. Oh, well, on second thoughts, maybe a throw-in would be better. As Brett Stevens asks, is that out on the full? Now, remember, folks, you cannot run through a point post unless, of course, you're Neil Cordy. The Collingwood cheer squad were the innovators of June with their automatic self-collapsing banner. It saves the players just a little bit of energy. It's no secret the Eagles are doing well this year. I wonder if they'll paint the town and not their faces come September. Winter finally arrived in Melbourne, much to the disgust of Tony Liberatore. Hey guys, where are you? Poor old Libber. What a month. I've heard of smacking the bottom, but hang on, Tony, you're a Brownlow medalist. And finally, a message to all the mothers who follow our game. With winter well upon us, let's rug up. Dress your little ones accordingly, as it does get very cold at the football. Obviously, Mrs. Cometti has taken note and dressed her son accordingly. And look who wants the last word. Unbelievable. He always does get the last word too, does our Donald. Right, let's go down once again to Max Stevens. Max?
Thanks very much, Sandy. We're looking at the injuries as far as Adelaide is concerned. At this point of time, there's only one injury worry, and that's Matthew Kelly. He came off with a driver muscle injury. South Australian, Sandy, you'll know what that's all about. And at this point of time, the doctor said he could be a few weeks. And that's pretty disappointing for Matthew. I mean, he played in the Foster's Cup, but apart from that, he's been plagued with injuries all season.
Thanks very much for that report. We'll take a break. More from VFL Park shortly.
In the middle of a large field, an umpire stands. He's got a ball raised up in the air. He's waiting for a siren to ring. Siren to ring. In the streets of any suburb, in any country town in Australia, little children are dreaming the very same thing. It's a national obsession. Football. This is the greatest game in the world. Let's play football. it's a national obsession.
Football. Let's play football.
At the end of a season, a captain stands with a cup raised in the air. The winner of the greatest game in the world. Put your feet up.
Let's play football.
Try and relax.
Football.
It's football time.
Let's play football.
Mate, have we got all the other scores? Teal Cup, other matches? I need to know what's going on. North Melbourne by 6 points. Collingwood did it easy.
West Australia beat the Victorian 10 seconds out.
Well, we're not going to do any other final scores. I'll mention it. 10 seconds we've got.
6 seconds. So you reckon my audition was sort of 4 out of 10?
I thought you were going to...
I thought you were going to swear. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know it was supposed to come straight out of that.
Karen, do you want to get it off for us afterwards?
Well, it was animated anyway, Graham, even if the words didn't come out the way it was supposed to.
We've only got 10 seconds to close. 6 to close. Other winners today were North Melbourne and Collingwood. Now let's cross to Steve Titmus for highlights of the clash between Melbourne and the West Coast Eagles.